Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 250. Hopefully, you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving, amazing Friday. We got a pretty good guest tonight here, SmashedCannabis. We got to know him a little bit yesterday, but we're going to get to know him a little bit more. How you doing today, SmashedCannabis? You want to tell us a little bit where we can find you and how you doing today?
SmashedCannabis on YouTube, Cannabis, Instagram, and I got a podcast called Let's Get Smashed on Spotify, most iHeartRadio. Just search for it, you'll probably find it. If you can't, I'm in Instagram, hit me up. I'll send you a link.
How bad was it to get on Spotify, man? I have been fucking pestered about doing like putting this show on there as well daily, and I've never really looked into it. But how bad is it to get linked up over there?
Honestly, that was one of the easier ones. Literally, I signed up for. I think I use Buzzsprout or whatever. It's like I'll look right now. I'm pretty sure it's called Buzzsprout. But like they give you the option to like wherever you want to list, and you could literally go down the line and put everything. And I clicked Spotify, and it brought me to their page. It made me do a couple of confirms and said you'll be listed in 18 hours after review. Cool.
Did you have to like leave a sample podcast for them to review?
Nope, nothing. They probably listened to it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But I didn't, I'm
yeah,
not. I'm
right
not
on.
too crazy. It's just my stories about being an addict and like all the bullshit I did. And like I used to have a college scholarship for baseball, and I fucked that up because I started to get high. So that's kind of stories about that shit.
Well, shit. Sounds like something to look into. Piling in over here. Hell yeah.
Oh, I gotta
Nice to see
pull.
everybody today.
I gotta pull up chat.
Sorry, go
Shout
ahead.
out. I know all the homies are gonna be in chat, so shout out to all the homies and all the ladies.
Surprised I recovered as well as I did from yesterday.
I know you were on forever. My computer died that last thing, and I was like, it takes 20 minutes to boot back up. I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
once
that's what happens.
once it dies, it dies. But I got plugged in tonight, so we're good for a little while.
I made the mistake of falling asleep for a second. Woke up groggy as fuck.
Are you the type of person? All right. So sometimes if I get a lot of sleep, I feel like shit. But sometimes if I get like 3, 4 hours, I feel amazing.
Yeah, that's all about. That's all I run on. Is probably about 4 or 5 usually. Today I got probably about 10. I passed right the fuck out after the show. I got up, kind of fucking looked around, thought about doing some shit, and I was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm going to bed. And then
Nah, you
passed out
deserve
until
it.
about noon.
You definitely deserve it, bro. I
It was
thank you for
fine.
everything you
But
do for.
usually it's
I think we got a a little bit. Eagles got bad connection, I think. No, I really do appreciate everything you do for the cannabis community, all the guests you have, and all the stuff you do on the holidays to entertain. Like you really are like the Joe Rogan of the cannabis podcast, and I love it.
I guess if I had to be compared to anybody, I guess I could take that because I take Joe Rogan for sure.
He's a monster with it.
So, what are you smoking on over there?
Cherry
What you
Kush,
smoking on over there?
a little bit of Cherry Kush.
Cherry Kush.
Hell yeah, I like this
Nice,
stuff.
nice.
I'm probably gonna be taking a dab in a little bit. I
Is
gotta,
that you find the cherry sedative? Is that cherry a little bit sedative?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh snaps! Purple thumb slaps. Oh hell yeah!
Shout out. He knows who I'm talking about. Shout out to you.
Right there.
Yeah, yeah. The cherry Kush, I like it. It's definitely. I'm more of the sativa, or sorry, the indica type. Anyways, if you want to put it in like layman's terms, or so everyone can
Smoke
understand.
a little.
But like downer weed is like my type to like relax. I'll smoke anything though. If we hung out and you were like, "Yo, I got this six sativa, bro," and hand it to me, I'd be like, "Hell yeah, Eagle, let's go."
I like sativas myself, but you gotta have a little bit of indica for time to time, just for time to time.
I think with like I got ADHD, so like
So I guess we should start it off right from. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's alright.
Cut out a little bit on my end.
I got ADHD, so like the downer weed helps out. It like helps me focus.
I find that's for a lot of people, the sativa works like that. I find this for the most part, people with anxiety, the sativas work very well for.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be careful though, because some sativas can get racy. Like Canna Queen was saying, imagine getting one of those with like having a panic.
Well, I hope that's not the case. Well, we finding out. I do have a couple of them flowering back there, so we'll
Oh
see.
yeah,
We'll see.
you said that. Let me pull up chat. I can't wait to. I want a strain report on that one.
So let's get your story going, brother. When was the first time you come across and messed with the cannabis plant?
I want to say like I probably smoked it for the first time like 14, 15. Grew it for the first time decent at 16, but then life hit me up. So early.
Uh, yeah, that's not too. That's pretty average. I'd say 16 is pretty average for your first time smoking.
That was my first time growing, my first time smoking, like 13, 14. Little young. Little young, I think.
Well, nah, that's still all right on the average side. From all the people I've talked to, that's pretty on the average side.
I was
You know,
just thinking
a
that
little
in my
later on,
head.
I'm thinking around anymore. It's right around 18, 19 would seem to be.
Abnormal.
But as far as the growing part of it now, yeah, 16's on the earlier side of the stories for some that I've heard. Yeah, it's a couple of them that I think out of a couple of hundred people, I would say, including yourself, probably four that
Really?
actually started messing with the plant that early. Yeah, well, growing, and smoking almost across the board. You know what I mean? But growing, only about like four of them that have stated they started that early.
Hell yeah. Well, I was always in with like the older crowd. I was always friends were always a couple years older in their neighborhood. I had people up in Maine that would travel for like holidays, and they've always had really good weed out there for some reason. So I was 16, and this is the first time I've ever like got like seeds that were actually the same seed. I could say they're not like a bag seed. Someone handed them to me and said, "This is sweet tooth." I was like, "Okay," and told me what to do, and then from there he helped me get it started, and once it was started I just had it going in the woods.
Nice, nice. How'd you finish out that run?
I left one plant there. Four of them made it home. We got raided the day after. All right, so here's the whole story. One night we went out to go grab.
Raided.
Yeah. We went out to go grab them, and we got them in. And we only like we're young, so we only had one car at the time to get them. So it was a Toyota Camry, and we had to go down the highway for like 3 minutes. So we had five out there. We shoved. We grabbed four of them. We took them out to the road and we put them in the car. And we got him back to the house and we got all set up and we're like, all right, we'll go back tomorrow for the last one because it's too sketchy trying to, it was dark, so like it was starting to get late. We're like, it's too sketchy driving on the highway with like these plants were hanging out the fucking window pretty much of the back seat. My friend didn't even smoke. I'm pretty sure it was my friend's brother that drove, and he was like one of the straight edge kids we grew up with. So it was the funniest thing. He's like, fuck it. I'll bring you guys to go get it. So he brought us out there. We get it home. And my buddy was older. He had an apartment, kind of. It was an apartment, but it was above an older like couple's house. And it was kind of like not with a lease. So like the landlord could do kind of what he wanted. And he never walked in before and just walked in the door. But my buddy was sleeping after a night shift or like work. He worked at a restaurant, so he got out late. He was sleeping and he heard his door open, so he pops up out of bed. This is the next morning after the plants and everything. He got out of work, running out the highways, and his room door swings open. This is exactly like I wasn't there, so I can't exactly. This is how he explained it. My room door swung open, and it was my elderly landlord sitting there. And he came in to talk to me about the rent, but he looked to the right, and they were all right there, next to the window with like, I think we stole a light from a parking lot to like illuminate the closet that it was in. We had some big light. Definitely took it from like an industrial park or something. And he was like, my buddy said it was a fern, and instantly the guy said, yeah, we'll see what the cops say about that. So I get a phone call and I'm like, shit. I'm like, cut him down. Like, what are you gonna do? Cut him the fuck down. Get him out there. So he chops them all down, gets them into a bookshelf, like the smallest little bookshelf, shoves them all, hangs them upside down, turns the bookshelf backwards against the wall, and we took the stems out in the woods, we dumped them, and there was a big bag of leaves, like the fan leaves, were on the front porch, just in like 3 trash bags. So if you looked at it, it just looked like a bunch of trash. I get the phone call. Cops are coming. Okay. I get in my car, I go there, and they get there. By the time it got there, there was no like living plants. They walked around the apartment, couldn't find anything. I got there right when they were walking up the stairs. But the cool thing was, the kid that was sleeping, his mom may or may not have been the dispatcher for the police. So, we had a little jump on everything, which was a good thing. But we got him out. We dried him. We didn't dry him good. That was obviously, like, that was the worst part. We didn't know how to dry shit. We just put it pretty much next to the heater in the bookshelf at that point after the cops left for a day, and then got him out of that house. Because it already smelled. They said it smells like it in here, but the landlord said there was living plants, and they're like, where'd you put them? And my buddy's like, we brought them out to the woods last night. Yep. That's the first time I ever grew. Shit, man. That was a good time though.
Sorry, I just realized I was on mute. That's a pretty interesting story for the first time growing.
I was like a punk, like I listened to hardcore punk music growing up. I was always like I hated the like I always had hate. I don't know. I was always a made fun of kid growing up, so I never really like got along with many people. So I drifted towards like the outcast, and that led me to hardcore punk music. So like I thank God his mom worked for the police station. I'll put it that way. And that was why we picked that place to put it. And to this day, the one that drove that night is dispatching for the police.
Nice, nice. Well, that's I think that's to say I know a few guys from high school that are now probably in the law force so somewhere, but I don't know. Everybody's a little crazy at some point in their life. I can just all I can say is that I guess I'm glad they don't dig too deep. I actually have a nephew, and nothing against my nephew, but in the process of him becoming a cop as well, they were. I was surprised. I was surprised how easy the process was to become like a city cop. I was like, no shit.
Yeah, a little bit of training, a couple physical tests. That's about it.
Yeah, I swear it was almost like an online course and like you say, a physical test. And I was like, huh? No. Really? Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
was
sure
like,
they
oh.
have like a little. I think it's like a ghetto boot camp. You know what I mean? It's for the police, so it's not going to be anything like the Marines. But I think they have to do a couple
Well,
of things because they got to jump over fences. Trust me, I've made a
well, I
couple.
guess to not yeah, not to be too specific, I guess, but I know that in particular town, they were probably hurting for some police, so that may that may have something to do with the easier course of action there. I don't know. I
Dude,
don't
I
know.
swear to God, every time I thought they might work out on their own time then, because I could never get away from these fuckers. But I'm good now. I'm happy now. I'm all legal. I don't. I follow the law. I broke the law for a long time, and every cop knows me by first name in my hometown. But they know me as a good person now. They know me as someone that's willing to help addicts. So if they do have someone, they have like I'm like really in tune with the like culture in like the addicts still on the street like can still talk to me easily because I'm more like one of them. So they kind of like how like they like me being me, like with my past and everything. You know what I mean? It helps me with like guiding people now, but they didn't like me back then. I can tell you that.
Unfortunately, the reasons why I know all of them at my fucking hometown is because I went to school with a lot of them. That's one of the reasons I stay out of that hometown. Still,
Yeah.
I don't
Now
know.
I'm at the age where it's all.
I'm straight. I,
I was just gonna say I'm at the age where it's all my generation could
I'm
be
sorry.
becoming cops. You know what I mean? Like your generation's kind of like phasing out, and all like the newer generation, you'll see it. It's a huge shift in like police forces. If you ever notice things like that, it's the little things from being a drug addict, like that you notice. That's a new cop. That's a new cop.
That's one thing that I can honestly say since I've gotten legal, or I've been legal with cannabis. I don't really even look so much anymore. Uh, Same thing that you're saying. I'm fucking legal at this point. You know, things are different, way different too, man. You know, 'cause I am a caregiver, and actually carrying my legal limit is will make most people very nervous. And for me, it's like shit. That's lay low for compared back in the days, man. Now I'm fucking legal. I get two shits about that. It don't even make me sweat. Fuck, I put that in the passenger seat, damn near. That fucking it's way different time. So yeah, these days I don't even usually sweat or even look twice at the local guy. In fact, since I moved up here, I couldn't even tell you what the local guys even look like.
I don't even speed
Knock
anymore.
on wood.
But
Well,
I'll
I've
go
been
to.
pulled over a couple times up here, but they let me go. I've been surprised. You know,
It's just my like. I don't
pretty
even
pretty
want
crazy,
to deal with it. You know, like
crazy.
I don't want to give them the opportunity to even run my name anymore. Because if I'm out of my town, they could give me they could fuck with me. You know what I mean? If it's like someone I don't know and they just want to be a dick that day, you've been arrested for this, and whatever. A couple fights back in the day. You know what I mean? Being in the hardcore punk scene, fights were, yeah, just to get by, kinda. What are you smoking, Eagle?
Well,
Actually,
I
I
def
forgot to ask you.
I'm smoking some twisted TK from Deep Southern Genetics. There, pretty good, pretty good. But to say, get back kind of what you were saying there. I'm not looking for trouble either. You know, I do frequently check brake lights, tail lights,
Oh yeah,
license plate light, make
quick
sure
walk around.
everything's good. I don't roll with no cracks in the windshield, shit like that. I'm
It just doesn't
yeah.
seem to
Look,
point
every time you
anymore.
fill up, man, it doesn't hurt to take that fucking windshield wiper, wipe off them fucking brake lights and shit. All that shit they show you in fucking driver's training and shit. Wipe them headlights, they fucking quick wipe off of the fucking blinkers and shit. Doo, doo, doo.
Even in
All
the
good.
winter,
Let's go.
get the snow off the plate. Everything. I just don't. I don't want to give them. I don't have that for them. I have nothing for them to do illegally. So I rather have them spend their time doing something else, hopefully good, and not shitty. I'm gonna take a dab though. We're gonna dab some orange gasm real quick, Eagle. So I'm gonna mute. I might cough.
Go ahead. Well, that's fine. What's up, Spiky Pilots, Buddha Boy, Jerry Bear? We just 207, Mr. Boom Farms. Always tons of respect for Mr. Boom, Mr. Boom. And put Jerry Bear on there. I don't think Jerry Bear's on the shout out list. And of course, my beautiful daughter, Lexi. How'd you guys like getting to see Lexi yesterday? Huh?
I at first I think she disappeared too, and I was like, where'd she go? After you guys started talking a little bit about smoking, I was like, oh man. But it was cool. It was absolutely cool. I think it's cool that you incorporate her and you're like, you know what I mean? All right, I'm about to. I cold start my dabs because I don't like
Yeah.
leave my.
So walk me through how you cold start. I'm a new dabber. When I go in, I just take it in hot. So you just fucking hit it until it starts boiling and start hitting that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna put my cap. I put my cap on. I think you got a wait. You got a rig. So if you got a rig, I put my cap on and you just heat it up. Once I start seeing vapor, I'll start hitting it, and then you get used to it. You get way more flavor, I think, cold starting it because you're not scorching it, and it keeps your banger way cleaner, or whatever you're using. I like it, and I got that from shout out Humidor, cause he got me back into cold starting.
No, I'm not using a rig anymore. I'm back to my dab straw when I'm dabbing. Titanium even, so I can't break it. There it is right there. And I don't know. I had a rig there for a minute. That Sungrown 707 was very nice, and shout out 707. That was very nice. And then I broke it live on air, and that fucking blue gigs, man. I was like, this is the heartbreak. Why don't I have a piece right here? So I'm fucking down to the nectar collector now, or what? It's not a nectar collector, but you know what I'm saying. This thing here, and I'm just gonna stay there. I'm just
I
gonna
think it
stay
is a
there.
nectar collector. I think even I think a dab straw nectar collector. Those like I broke a lot of pieces too. That's why like Smash Cannabis is because I used to like drop things and break things. They used to call me Smash all the time. So I kind of just took the name because it was like my nickname at that point. I literally have broken so many pieces, Eagle. It's funny. I'm the type of person to leave a bowl on his lap getting out of the car every time he gets out of the car.
Man, I fucking when I first got the fucking one of these, man, I burnt the shit out of my fucking stomach, man. All sitting here middle of summer, fucking took a dab, through that thing, and I forgot I had it in my hand. I fucking like leaned into it or put it down. I don't know, burned the fuck out of my stomach. But
I,
it's,
I do,
I guess, I was actually, at some point thinking about buying a motorcycle road bike sometime soon.
me too.
Maybe. I've rode dirt bikes all my life and shit, but I've always been way too big of a fucking partier to to ride bikes, and then kind of settle down, and then wasn't time was never right ride time was never right to get a road bike, I guess. Still didn't trust myself, a little bit of crazy there. And I've actually been considering it the last year or two, and it's been the same thing with glass. I thought I was like old enough to fucking keep a piece of fucking a rig, and then I had that thing for about a week, if that, was taking care of that thing like I thought I could. But so it makes me wonder about the decision of the bike.
I've been looking at
Am
them
I gonna
too. I
go
can't
out and
lie.
get crazy on that fucker?
See, that's the thing. I think I still will do a wheelie here and there. My dad, before he passed away, before he got like really sick, he taught motorcycle safety for 28 years, bro.
That's me.
I, so I was at that course my whole life. I've been riding since I was little on the front of the bike because I was too little. My dad had to put me on the front and lay on the tank and hold the tank because I was too little to sit on the back of the bike. I've been riding forever, bro. I love bikes.
That's fucking. See, that's badass, but you never know. With bikes, it's not necessarily just you. It's always, looking out for other people too. Seems to be the bike's biggest enemy. But to me, to this day, still, man, if you pull up in front of my bike, my house, a four wheeler, motorcycle, something, and it's just my instinctive nature to redline that motherfucker. You know, first thing right out the bat, and it's one of
I do it
the
too.
drawbacks of riding the bike there. So,
If I got a new exhaust, I gotta test it out, you know?
yeah, very nice.
I've been thinking about, like, yeah, on top of, like, cannabis, like, even drag racing. Like, I'm looking for just a hobby, something other than, like, cannabis to spend time with, too.
So, what do you think it'd be? What would your side hobby be? Other than
I really like Pete from P&L Grows and Operation Grows, he makes knives, and I've always been interested in that, and I've always been interested in blowing glass. Like, it's kind of like perfect timing to actually start trying one of those because I could do it on my own.
Right on. You get into making some knives, get at me because I've got a fucking. I don't make knives, but I've got a nasty, nasty fucking habit of fucking collecting knives. Like that's just completely sick. Completely
Yeah,
sick.
you should
Right now,
see.
without even getting up, I bet you I could grab four.
I could grab
Four.
a box
Here's
cutter.
one that. You got Eagle on the handle.
Oh hell yeah! Yo, I'll give him another shout out because his shit's dope. Pete from P&L Grows makes some such sick knives. That's sick. That's all dope as hell. See, I never got the knife thing. My dad always shot guns. I used to love guns, but I can't have them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about them, but they're everywhere. And I have like a large number of them too. Just
It's just that thing. It's just a hobby, you know. You see something you like, you just grab it. It's like a kid or like an adult that still likes Hot Wheels. You know what I mean? You go out. It's a hobby. It's just something cool to collect. And each tell a
but
story. I
yeah, you
bet.
start making some yeah, really unique knives. I did the same thing with hammers for a long time because I'm a carpenter by trade. And man, I must have right around the 80 mark of fucking hammers. Each one of them's got just a little something different about it. They're not something that's, different that you can't buy anymore. Or, I don't know. It was a sickness there for a while. And then at one point, I had like the regular hammers down. And then I had blew out my right shoulder and had had it completely rebuilt at one point. And then that was actually, I taught myself how to swing with the left hand. I can still drive a fucking nail with 16 just like I can with my right hand with my left hand. But because of that, I got worried about, being, having a hard time with this arm. So after that, I actually had an excuse to buy the titanium hammer because it was like, yeah, I just want to save my shoulder a little bit. So then I started venturing down, collecting titanium hammers, which are, the bee's knees if you're into fucking framing and shit.
I never was like. I did carpentry a little bit. I was in a trade
I
school.
love it.
I did plumbing.
So do you collect anything like that? I mean, besides hobbies, do you have a collection?
Nope. Uh, Magic cards because I'm a
No?
fucking nerd.
Uh, a collection is a collection.
I still play like I still love. All right, I'm like a '90s kid by trait, you know, and I love Pokemon still. I grew up on it. It was my first Game Boy game, one of my first Game Boy games. Um, I want to start collecting glass. I'll tell you that. To bring it back to like cannabis and lifestyle, like glass artists are crazy shit out there. Like Mike Luna lamps, Salt does some crazy work, Darby, and it's fucking worth the money. Some like to have that piece of art. You know what I mean to me? At this point, I'm like, that's my new collection. I think is gonna be glass.
Well, back to the, making the nicer the glass. What more are you up to go to there? Oh,
Both,
cool,
both.
cool.
I want to learn both
You
for
know,
real. Maybe a little,
both.
maybe a little like learn to blow bowls and stuff, and then because I feel like I have the time right now to do whatever I want. Maybe take a little. I think I will try to learn both though, for real, before I die.
I would almost start with the glass, with the cannabis in mind. There's so many reasons why I would. Every event you went to, you could think about selling some pieces here or there, doing a podcast, or maybe on YouTube or whatever. Just have a piece there that you could
right?
have, you know,
It's free promotion.
side piece once in a while.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You put those pieces, like some of those dudes that I just named, glass in a shot, and it makes the shot. Like they just ridiculously art. Like I know people that make money off taking pictures of glass.
Right on, right on. There's pictures of anything of cannabis is a field, really. Buds, glass, just cannabis products in general.
Have you ever been to like
Is
a
an emerging market.
glass drop, like a artist drop? Like they do a bunch of pieces, and they like spend a bunch, like couple months, and they don't put anything out, and they release it all at once, and it's like a little party. They're fun.
No, I never have, but some fun itself.
It's like
Some
a,
fun itself.
how could I put it? It's like a bunch of stoners getting together to look at art and smoke. You know what I mean? It's so fun. It's the coolest atmosphere because you don't even have to buy anything. You really don't. You could just go to admire.
Well, as things progress here, hopefully that's something more that we definitely see.
I'm trying, man. It's little by little. This COVID shit's got me all messed up. Money's tight, so I'm building everything by hand. I just got all the bricks for a forge to start the knives first, because that was easier to make, because I would have to buy the blowtorches, and I could do a coal furnace. So I want to like get the blowtorches. So, one of my buddies, you might have seen him. He was on the EO show for a little while. Zen Premium Cannabis is starting to blow glass. Yeah, he's starting to do it, and we talk every once in a while. So he's thinking about getting a studio of his own, which is kind of cool, because then, you know what I mean, I'll have spots to do everything.
That'd be an interesting fucking hobby, that's for sure. That could turn into a very valuable side hobby as well. I don't know if you can call it a hobby if you're making money though.
Yeah, once I can quit doing like DoorDash and shit to make money, I'll call it a job. Like I do that shit like since I grow and stuff. I'm a caregiver like you guys. What I was doing in the side to like put money on the table now is DoorDash and shit, cuz I'm still the type of person like I'm a hermit. I like to pick my schedule, and I didn't really have a business to start right away. So I figure let them make some money off me and figure out the like, cuz I'm really good at like once I start doing something like driving around, I figured out the best routes to make the most money and where to be. So I was making four, five, six, $700 a week on that shit just doing DoorDash. And everyone to steal my job now. Fuck.
You must be in a somewhat of a decent sized town where it's worth doing a little DoorDash. How busy does that shit keep you? I've
Depending
never
on
done it.
where I go, that's the thing. All right, so if I leave my town, like if I live kind of in nowhere, if I drive 10 minutes that way, I'll be able to get to a spot that just reaches a city line, and I'll start picking up city orders. And once you start picking them up in the city, as long as you get one, it just goes bung, 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 bung. You'll like be turning out of the driveway, canceling the order, and it literally comes like that. The next one, and you're like, shit, I wanted to take a break.
Huh. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay.
But yeah, growing is like kind of, I don't get paid. You know what I mean? I'm a caregiver, so my patients come to see me and they compensate me. So that, like, I had to shut everything down. Like, I had a nice little kind of perpetual grow going on in a little space with auto flowers and photo periods. So I had a constant flip in this little tent. But then I realized, I'm like, this isn't going to last. I'm smoking way more weed. I was like, now I didn't have I wasn't a caregiver for a while. I recently just kind of started this. So that's why I got bigger.
So what kind of, you still pushing autoflowers now? Is that,
I'll
or do
grow
you grow
everything, man.
photos?
Everything. I love seeds. Give me seeds, I'll pop them.
Appreciate that.
I got
Appreciate that
yours sitting
myself.
there.
So no cloning, just seeds mainly?
Ah, shit, man. You got that question. I try.
Nice.
I like to, but there's so many good seeds out there that I don't need to. I don't. I can just pop more seeds. There's nothing really that impressed me, and the thing that impressed me, I bred with, so I have seeds of it.
So do you think it's more, do you get more, think in your
Fucking
opinion,
smokes.
more vigor from seed? Or you just don't like
I like the taproot. That's like, I like having that taproot. Um, I think you get I don't know. Clones just seem for me to always have a shallow root structure unless you give them a little bit more time. But with a seed, once that taproot gets down there, it just seems like I like it. It's just a better way for me to grow. It's more. It can take more abuse. You know what I mean? Having more of that taproot and all that shit down there instead of just surface roots just starting.
so I'm assuming you're straight to the container.
What do you mean? Like seed into like a 5 gal?
Planting. Yeah, yeah.
I'll step up still. I actually just started. I tried actually starting in solo cups for. I haven't done it in forever, and I wasn't doing good with it because I was mixing. I messed up because I did too much at once. You know what I mean? You ever do that to yourself? Just change everything at once, and you're like, "Fuck! I gotta figure this all out now."
Only one time was I kind of silly enough to do that, and boy, I fucked myself. Oh, jeez, did I fuck myself? It hurt so bad, dude. It was one of those fucking, one of them things too, where you like, what is going on too? Because it took me a minute to figure out what the fuck. Because I was actually switching back, trying to switch over from something different. I liked the Pro Mix, but I liked the Cocoa. And Perlite's always been my fucking beast, you know. I hate, I've always been dumping it out in the yard, and that shit's so telltale. So I fucking was trying to get over to straight cocoa, something without fucking perlite, And I thought back then I thought fucking cocoa is fucking cocoa is fucking cocoa. And so I switched and I was switched brands, and this is where I had a brand that I was using, and then I stopped in and I was looking at this other place and they had some cocoa, and I'm like, all right, what do you want for your cocoa? And they had a halfway decent price, and I'm like, all right, well, what if I buy like fucking 10 of them bitches? And they're like, ooh, we can do you fucking better. We, 80 or $8 a piece. And I was like, hell yeah, stack them bitches up. It was fucking. I took it home and used that shit, and it was like super, super fine. So I went home, fucking wet it all up, transplanted fucking almost like everything that was getting ready to flower into that shit. And fucking that shit just held the water. And fucking it was the worst cocoa I ever fucking had. So everything's just sitting there stagnant, over water. And I can't figure out what the fuck's going on. Then I
Oh shit.
figured out this cocoa's just fucking so fine. It's actually worse than fucking dirt. It's fucking just saturated, not fucking drying up. So mid fucking like week and a half into flower, I had to fucking pull everything out, fucking and transplant them in back into cocoa. Pro Mix HPCC, and I was like, oh man. But they stunted. They got a halfway decent flower on. They wasn't fucking wrecked. They would have been fucking wrecked if I would have let them continue to try to flower and that shit. It would have been sucked. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. We won't
So
talk about what
I
brand.
try not to switch anything over.
I know. I usually don't,
What's that?
but I was gonna say we won't talk about which brand because I kind of had a similar problem with cocoa.
It was
That
General Hydroponics. That's what it was. And it was like a white blue bag. So yeah, I'll look it up.
yeah, because I added this last round. I needed more fluff in my like mix because it was really compact. So I added a little bit more cocoa and a little bit more. I used Hydroton because I don't like everyone says I don't like perlite because like you
Yeah.
said it gives it away. But I mean Outback is probably a million things of like specs back there because of all the old gardens, and I used to just buy bags. I guess the bags I use now don't have a lot in them though. Like, or I used to use. Now I'm trying to reuse soil, kind of like Coot and Smiley.
That's it right there, brother. Oof. That's all I could say about that shit. Oof. Stay the fuck away. That Cocoa Tech, man. That shit's just fine. Fucking. Just fine. Too fine. I, I would, yeah.
I was getting a lot of water
Almost
retention
cost
at
me a whole flower
first.
cycle.
I was killing veg plants at first, and I was just because I've never had anything hold water like that. And the mix I mixed up, it must have just, you know what I mean? It must have just something I did must have just wanted to hold water. So what I had to do is let everything dry, like dry out, and I started to literally bottle feed things until they were big enough to take a full water. Like I used to like start bottom feeding and stuff, but like when I started to bottom feed, it was so saturated. It was bad. It was weird. I've never had the problem before.
It seems like I mean, in my opinion, you'd have to wait until you had that tap root or you had a decent root system, at least hit bottom before you can start bottom feeding without like overwatering. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
no way, like,
Oh
seed with
yeah.
the seed that you can like bottom feed.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I might have hit it too. I'm usually never early with it. I'm usually more on the later side. You know what I mean? I'm on the later side of everything. That's just how I am. It's I'd rather be late and then overwater at this point. I'll I'm not the type to let my plants droop, but they'll get there almost. And as soon as they start needing water, they get a full pot full. But like my seedlings, they try to bottle feed, like spray bottles and stuff. And I was spraying the top of the soil with my spray bottle, just like the normal way I would water, and it was holding it. These seedlings were just dying. It wasn't growing. It was holding water way longer than it normally would. It was the weirdest situation. I got it all sorted out now, and it was definitely the cocoa part of what I mixed in was holding way more water than I'm used to.
At one point in my fucking grow career, I grew with these. They're all up here, the air pots, where they've got the cones that go in and out. I grew in them for the longest time. I still love them. I'm halfway tempted to go back to them.
I like
There
fabrics.
was a point where, I was so anal of everything. They're just as good as fabric, but man, you keep them. You know what I mean? Fabric you only have so long. It gets nasty. You can't wash that shit. That's where I get a little fucking finicky, man. I like to wash it between grows, man.
No, yeah, you're
Wash
right.
out the pots, trays, wipe everything down. And them fabric pots are just a bitch to wash, man. You chase them around the yard with a fucking hose. Fucking, it just, I've
Yeah,
tried just about everything besides killing the washer, trying to get them fucking things.
I got trust in my
But
microbes, Eagle. I'll say that, and I'm happy you're starting to grow organic because you will have trust in your microbes.
I've always used a lot of microbes, even in artificial, my cocoa and stuff, man.
Oh,
I've always felt that's key, man. It's just so above, so below, man. That root zone isn't happy underneath, man. You're not doing good up top. And then the same thing should be said when you're done taking out that plant, even organics or what, man. You harvest that plant, you knock that root ball out of that pot. If that fucker ain't next to fucking root bound, you still got you've got work to do somewhere or another. Because man, that's where in my opinion, if there's room in that pot, my job ain't done. I didn't do something right. Still got room to tweak something out, and
yeah.
that's the way I still am my judge now in my pots right now. If I could go outside, knock that fucker over, I'm like, ah. I can think I killed it up top, man. Fucking pull that root zone out and fucking barely going around the pot, or they ain't as thick as I wanted, or you know what I mean? I haven't worked it enough. You know what I mean? It's so much going down there. There's plants defense. There's fucking just what's being able to be uptaken in the plant. That's there's
Well, I
so much
guess
going on.
what I meant like
Yes.
with my fabric pots, I'm not really too worried about cleaning them out. Like you said, you're spraying them down and stuff, and I think it's more or less the difference of like nutrients we are using. Like you probably get like, don't you like do flushes and stuff because salts build up in them sometimes, and that's why you clean your pots really good.
Occasionally, a little
I've
bit
never.
towards the end.
I use
I'm
salts
flushing towards the
outside.
end, but not
Oh,
like every couple of weeks or nothing like that. I don't do it as heavy.
okay.
It's half to 3/8 strength all the time, not just hammer, hammer, hammer. And even at that, I'm almost leery of a lineup that says, you have to flush. It almost like they know, they know that it's going to
Yeah,
get toxic.
that's cool.
Anymore, a lot of them don't even say nothing about flushing every few weeks. Only like fucking high performance where you've got 16 parts.
Yeah.
16 parts of bullshit. You need to flush one out, start the other one. If you don't,
See, when I
making
did
it too
use
hard at
it,
that point. It's making it too hard at that point.
I used probably, I think I got what it was it, Fox Farm. I got the Fox Farm 3. That was like the first shit I obviously started with, and Fox Farm soil. But I've been pretty much organic like fish, crab, kelp. I use all that stuff, and I love it. It's always been easier on me. I didn't have to do as much feeding. You know what I mean? It was but now when I'm learning to make new super or make new living soil, pretty much I've always used super soil and fed organic nutrients, which which is like kind of a system, like a half-ass living system. But now and I used to throw all my soil outside in the garden. And I'm trying to get to the point where I can just literally water only. Seems like the easiest route to go. And I know cannabis is, I've seen synthetic and I've seen organic, and I just prefer. I think I'll say it this way: my personal preference is organic because I think it brings out a little bit more of the smell and a little bit more frostiness. My opinion. Don't butcher me in the chat, guys.
I don't know about the frostiest. Maybe a little bit of tastier. I've ground some super, super frosty shit, and I do on an annual basis. So I'm not buying the frostier end of it, but yeah, maybe in the taste, maybe a little bit of taste, maybe a little bit in the cleaner burn. But for me, I'm not gonna lie, I am and can be a cheap fucker, and in hustle in the school of hustle of life, mainly the school of hustle, you want to do things as cheaply as possible
It's
to make
kinda, yeah.
the most out of what you can. So, again, back to like the artificial, nutrients versus organics type setup. Uh,
Oh, I
which
don't
is
care.
cheaper?
I really
By
don't.
far, by far, organics. It comes to a point, even if you're producing it for yourself, okay? This is your own garden. Just bam. You got fuck 4 plants in there. You fucking whatever. If you're paying more to produce the cannabis, and I don't care whatever quality you think you were expecting, then you can go out and buy, save your fucking time and space, and go buy some. So if I'm telling out, fucking on a 16-part nutrients program, and it's fucking costing me more
Yeah,
time
some of those are
and
crazy.
fucking money than it's worth.
Some of those are
And yeah, a lot of
nuts.
them are. That's why actually, well, I'm into like 2 parts. I go where common sense takes me as far as nutrient lineups go, and and that's one of the things that's the biggest draw for me is the organics is kind of cost cutting say side of it, especially I talk to Smiley. I can't by any means cut Smiley out of this.
I know. Smiley,
Fucking
shout out to you, guy.
earthworm castings. Fuck, man, I can make those myself, as everybody is pointed out.
Yep.
Then you start talk about the KNF and shit. If you can start producing nutrients for next to nothing, man, quality. Yeah,
I
it's
shouldn't
just
have
the
said
only downside
frosty.
for me is the mixing. If I could
Yeah.
go down to like a living, so that I'm so close. I'm close. I'm close. But there's the other side of it too. Is I'm kind of decently happy with the runs and the cost. For what it is. For what I'm saying. This current setup's pretty. You know,
Yeah, on point. You got it
but
down.
if the only thing that bothers me is mixing the soil and having something like that. If it's not that, then I may need to have room, make room for earthworm beds, compost and shit. I don't think I can go down the
I mean,
someday, and
technically,
it makes sense to go down the Bukashi road, but I'm not
yeah.
there.
I like the. I
And
should.
now it's met. It,
I gotta shout out to Spartan
But
because the earthworms bins could be, they're so simple and they do all your composting for you. You just throw whatever you want to compost right in your worm bin, and it will go and it will turn into stuff you can use. And that's what I'm learning too, though. I'm learning right there with you. I'm a bottled guy, kind of still, to a point. But the bottled stuff I use wasn't salt. And I shouldn't have said frostiness. I wanted to stop you because I shouldn't have said that. Because
wow,
you get some frost. Red Setter Farm gets some frost. The Mr. Bagsy, they use Jacks. I think so. I should have specified taste and smell. I think you get a little bit more of.
looking at that, I think that could be after out some fun too. It's just I don't know.
I just I never see that was the
Yeah.
thing. I just never could get a good smell. You probably got it dialed in. I couldn't get it though. I'll say that. When I found organics, I was getting the smell I was always looking for. So that's why I stuck. It stuck. Everyone has their spot
About
though.
where I'm wow, got things twisted back into where I would like to have them. I see. I can. My things kind of go a little awry because I'm like, I guess right back to. You ever try anything all at once? Yeah, I kind of do. Because I'm kind of in that boat where I do once in a while
We
take
got
some
to
stuff,
sometimes.
from companies. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes, it isn't what it is. You know what I mean? But sometimes it is what it is. And so, as take out a new nutrient company and swap everything over, which I'm guilty. I shouldn't do. I should be doing that just by 10 by 10. But a lot of times it's pretty good load. It's worth just switching everything over to, man. When I switched over to the salts, they were like, here, here's fucking a year's worth of fucking
Oh
nutrients
yeah.
and shit that fucking sit on the It's like, eh.
I feel you,
I
bro.
started using it all, and
I feel you. I do. I was getting bags of soil for low price, $12. Really good soil. If he was in a good mood, if I had to deal with his boss, it was $16 a bag. So I was getting it pretty cheap. And then every time I would hit him up, if I needed it, he would throw me coast of Maine. It was one of my favorite. That's how I found it, and that's kind of how I fell in love with like I always say fish brings the dank for me. I seen everyone like every grow style has its place for a grower. You know what I mean? Some people want that simple 3-2-1 mix, and they can feed and put it on the irrigation system and leave for 7 days, 4 days, and they know everything's gonna work and everything's perfect. The nutrients are mixed in their res, and they're ready to go. I'm pretty sure Red Setter said he could go 7 days with his res on Jacks without visiting. So that's good.
yeah, it's, it's doable.
That's a good
It's
vacation,
doable.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't been able to step away from the grow for that amount of time. Like never, never, never. I even now I can't fucking. I shouldn't really do it. You know what I mean? I like these tents open the way they are. They're designed and they usually run to where they can run closed, but I don't like it. I get a little nervous,
So I'm
especially back
guessing.
there. It's the high pressures that worry me. You know what I mean? The LEDs not so much, but fucking that 4K back around there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see
I'm
that
worried
deep one.
about what if the fucking incoming, even the fucking 4K or an intake fan goes or something, man. If that fucking area gets hot, man, it's just and without, like, say, if the incoming air stopped coming in for one reason or another, it would take like zero time for that fucker to get dangerously hot.
Oh yeah, those are
And so
dangerous.
I like to be here, open it up.
Have you ever seen
It's
someone?
all
I
right.
know you have. Someone in their garden throw some 1,000 watts in flour hanging from strings.
No. Or just ratchet straps, you mean?
It was just a bulb. It was just a bunch of extra bulbs. They had. I'll show you. I
Oh
have a
no.
picture somewhere. It was the
I mean,
craziest
they
thing
kick
ever.
out. I've seen it like that. But I would, that seems like a lot of heat, a lot of extra heat to a room.
It was a
A
facility
lot of fucking extra heat.
that did it. It was. I think I saw it. You know who shit I saw it on? I saw it on Jungle Boys when they were starting out. They used to, when they were in Flower, they had a picture and it was their old Flower room, and they used to throw in the lights. I'll find it one day and I'll send it to you. But it was definitely Jungle Boys.
Some 400 or 600 watters for the side lighting, maybe dropping them in the rows,
I got a
walking rows, maybe.
150 watt HPS in my Flower, 2K or no 3K. But it's a self-contained unit. You know what I mean? It's one of those self-contained ones. So there's no fan. It doesn't really put off too much heat. I don't really worry about it too much.
So how long from it was it from that first grow to the next time that you were able to sink some fucking plants in the dirt?
So 16, I had that little experience, and then I want to say I didn't get serious until 5 years ago, and probably 10 years ago I was on and off. So I'm 31. So when I was 21, I would throw some seeds in, and I got okay at it here and there. It was still illegal, so like it was always stealthy in the woods, and I had to do it the right way. I also had a bunch of other stuff on my mind, so like I started obviously getting high on other stuff, so that took a lot of like chunk out of my growing experience. But like since I've been clean the last 5 years, it's been a consistent. At least every year, I've had a grow. Cause when I was just doing myself, I would I would get a cycle. I would be happy with it, and it would last me a couple months, and I would know when I need to start, and I would finish again when I would get low. But like I said, I just moved up to everything so big, and I think about it now that you say no. I kind of only did it once. What I should have did. I made an office. Like where I'm sitting right now is my new office in my house for like the shows and shit and online, because I spent a lot of time on the computers and doing the podcasts and stuff. And this is where my old grow used to be, literally where I'm sitting next to my bed in my room. And it used to be as big as like my arms. I'm 6 feet tall, so my arms can stretch about 6 feet wide. So it was about 5 foot wide. I made it out of PVC, 5 foot by 3 by 5, and I stayed in that thing for consistently for 5 years happy, 4 years happy, 4.5. And then everything before that was outdoor.
Always in soil indoors.
Yeah, I never had the money to get hydro.
I never went down that road because that shit is just too needy. Not that I'm here. Yeah, I'm here usually anyway, but back when I like up until I don't want to say how it's been a few recent years. It was always still a full time hustle. You know what I mean? I was gone usually 12 hours a day, easy, swinging hammers and fucking, or designing some furniture, doing something else, staying busy on top of the grow. So I wasn't there as much as I am now. So I don't. I'm always worried about something going down, pump going down, pH swinging. It just never really interests me in trying to do hydroponics.
Yeah.
So I never did.
Yep.
I still haven't done that. Went down that road. I don't even I hand water to
Do you
this
have
day.
do you have an
You know what
arrow
I mean?
cloner?
Fucking. I have an oxycloner.
Yeah, that's
Is
hydro
what I
kinda,
have. Kinda, yeah. It's kind of like
right?
a DWC, basically.
I think I want to do that. Like you, I got a fish tank actually to start. Like I'm the type of person that builds things. Like I want to make something cool. So I got a fish tank and I want to make it into like one of you guys' easy cloners, and I want to just have my fishies in the tank, and I just want to have floating styrofoam on top of my cannabis seeds or clones in it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna. It's my dream. It's gonna happen.
Seems achievable. Seems achievable.
I just think it would be the coolest thing if I'm like, hey guys, I just gotta make sure I mark them good enough so when they're floating around, I know what clone's which.
Well, colors. Colors. That's how to do that.
It just always
Just find
hydro.
different color rings.
Hydro always seemed like it was the most expensive option, so I just never went there.
Again, it seems like very needy. I've seen some, even like some of these, the blue mats, other self-watering systems. It seems like this shit's got to be cleaned at some point, or just throw it out and start it again.
I think all
More
the
cost.
drippers, it depends. I know people that don't have to clean theirs out because they use straight clean water, and they maybe clean it out once a grow. They'll air spray it out, but I think Raptor uses the blue mots, and his are pretty cool. He likes them a lot. He really likes them a lot. Um, I have a dripper system. If I have to go, like if me and you decided to like chill, and I'm like, all right, Eagle, I'll come hang out. I'd set up my drip system, and I'd set it. I'd probably put my 4 or 5 day bucket down there, and I'd come and visit. But I love hand watering, like you're saying. Oh shit.
I just again, the blue mats are alright. The blue mots are alright, but I don't know. I just don't like my hand water and just more work, more work, more work. And the other side, the reason I haven't went hydro as well, at least back then, I know it was a huge factor, was more electricity. Yeah, more electricity, more electricity. Up until and even then, first year or two or so, when I was legal, it was always the electric company. Because my fucking at one point back then they actually called me and asked me.
You're
What,
pumping a lot of power out of here.
yeah, basically you're running 3 houses worth of fucking power there, brother. What you doing? And at that time it was a decently sized house, and I was fucking running electric heat most of the time, even pure heaters here, there, hot water tank, laundry, and I'm like fucking, and I had my shop there too, so which I told them, which I didn't use as much.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Most of my work was off site, but I used that. Oh, I'm fucking running my machinery fucking all day. I got everything that's electrical, and they're like, okay. But even at that, I wasn't trying to tack more shit on. You know what I mean? Even at that, I was fucking. There was a time because the grow was in an attic space. I at some point I need to find a picture. I've got tons of pictures of it, but it was It was in a 40 by 40. Oh, I gotta sit up. It was in a 40 by 40 fucking garage, and it was, I had 12 trusses, so I had a nice A-frame in the center there. So I utilized that motherfucker, man. That big, straight fucking 40-foot long A-frame, which at the base was like fucking 10 feet, and it went almost to fucking 10 feet tall. And I could shove these very fucking same hoods right up into the, you know what I mean? They were like, bing, and they would lower down and ratchet right up tight, all one piece. They were
That's
all
dope.
fucking hard lined together. And oh man, the setup was pretty sweet.
That
But I
sounds
was always
amazing.
fucking hot, 4K in it. 4K in an attic space. I was always worried about fucking a plane flying over and fucking going, wow, that's an impressive heat footprint there. You know, something's obviously going on there. It would fucking melt.
Why is there no
12 inches of snow and
snow?
my roof would be like the only one.
Yeah.
Bing! Yeah.
Why is there no snow
That was
on
a
this
dead
house?
giveaway. Dead giveaway.
I always go down. I don't go up.
That was definitely a giveaway there.
That's the funniest thing because that's
I
like
used to have a buddy
everyone's
of mine
house
that'd
back in
stop
the
by
day.
one of the patients. He'd go, smell check, buddy. And I'd go, oh shit. You can smell it? He's like, fuck, man. As soon as I got out of that car, man, it's probably all over my clothes, man. Change that fucking filter. Like, oh shit.
Oh man, hey, I'm pretty
That's actually
sure.
when I got in. That's was part of the journey to Coco, brother. Was that being in that spot? I actually fucking. Let me see. I know I've got some pictures. While I'm talking, I'll try to fucking find you a couple of at least. So I know I might have something. It got so heavy, I ended up having to fucking build a fucking a header underneath the center of it, the whole 40 foot. Every 16 foot, I just threw down a leg, 2x12s all the way down to hold that shit. Weight was a factor, and I started out in the soil in that grow, and it just fucking, I seen things started to tweak, like a rough fucking line kind of start sagging a little bit. I'm like, oh fuck. Gotta change things over. What are we looking at there, brother?
I'm gonna take a hit of this Raphael. I just wanted to show it off. It looks so good. It smells so good. That's one of Irie, grown by Purple Thumb, squished by him too. I think it's just flower rosin.
Awesome.
It's not hash. That dude is really him, Mr. Bagseed, Raptor, Duckweed, all the homies over there, bro. Fumidor. Honestly, they're like brothers now. We had a really like I said before we jumped on. Obviously these times are tough, and I know everybody's having a hard time, but like I just sometimes I don't have many people to talk to, and everything builds up, and I don't really have outlets to go talk, and they gave me an outlet to let everything that I've been holding in go since the quarantine happened, and I really gotta say thank you.
Definitely a bunch of awesome guys over there. Few have been on the show. Raptor's been on the show, that's for sure. Chris Mertz been on the show. Fumi refuses to be on the show. But everybody else, pretty much.
He'll cave soon. One day he'll cave.
Yeah, but the invitation's closed.
Oh man, I love, honestly. I can say though, like from my past to now, this like cannabis shit really did save my life. And people might argue with me and say, because there's a guy out there that said cannabis didn't help him at all, but like this shit saved my life. I don't care what other YouTubers or influencers say. This shit really did save my personal life.
I can say, I don't know. Yeah, I can say it, honestly, say it saved my life more than, maybe not in the way of a lot of other people's, but man, it's been there. more than it's been almost there more than parent figures have in my life. That's for fucking sure. And it's definitely kept me alive in a few instances. So yeah, I
You
can
know,
say I owe a lot to the cannabis plant as well.
it makes me sad because my mom's not with cannabis at all. Like she won't smoke. Period. Like Eagle, I gave her some CBD lotion and she said no. But my dad, on the other hand, would have smoked with me. I'm pretty sure, but he passed away, and I'm so mad. It makes me mad because we cleaned out like his stuff after he passed away, and guess what? I found a half zip of some fire nug. My mom's holding it in her hand, and I'm like, "That's mine, thank you."
I have gotten to smoke with my father before he passed. He actually passed during this episode 50. He passed during this time. And yeah, it sucked. But I did get to enjoy a lot of cannabis with that man. That's for sure. Oh, sure. I hated to share hash with that man, but I loved to smoke joints with that man. He loved his fucking hash.
I love
He loved
hash,
his
bro.
hash too. He
I
didn't
love
have hash
hash.
etiquette though.
There's no what's hash etiquette. Smoke it and get high.
There is hash etiquette, brother.
I
You know,
guess I
at
smoke
least
by
in
myself.
I guess I would. You know, I wish it only took one time to fucking smoke some with him, and you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, come on, good hash. What do? You light it like once, twice. It smolders.
Yeah, you
You
know.
thumb that shit, throttle it a little bit. You know, you work it. That's hash etiquette. That's hash
Oh,
etiquette.
okay. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, we're on this. Yep. Yeah, one or two
My
puffs
old
and it's
man.
lit.
Oh no, man! My old man would fucking throw a lighter to that thing for in the whole bowl, not off to a side or something, just right over top, and fucking for like 10 seconds, and that thing would practically be a fucking bonfire as he was hitting it.
That's so funny. It's
You're
because
like, no, no, what'd you do to my ass? You're last. You are last.
I, I s-
Yeah,
that's
it was
how I
never the
smoke,
same
man.
after he got it.
I always quit. Like that's just
That's a
me
bowl
smoking.
etiquette.
That's just me smoking, I guess.
Yeah, that's bull. See that same bull. He would have fucking just torched that whole top, man.
I bet you my dad would have
No,
too.
no, no.
I would have been smart and put a little bit.
Anytime he asked me if I had, I put it in a joint. That's the only way I could. He'd be like, "You got some hash?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's put it in a joint." Yeah, that's a fairground right there.
Until he gets into the stories and just keeps it, and you're like, Dad, I need that. Pass it, puff puff pass, man.
More reason to put the hash in it. Could just keep it, let it burn for a half hour like an incense and shit. It's still the same size when you get it back. I'm the same way though, man. You get me going, smoking and fucking. I'll shake. I'm that guy that'll sit there and shake it at you while he talks and shit. You'd be like, "Come on, man, hit that thing. It's going out."
Yeah, that's too long. If the joint goes out, you've held it too long. Unless you're smoking by yourself. I don't want to get you guys with. I'll wait till Eagle's done coughing. that should be a stoner rule.
Hash in this one.
If the joint goes out in your hand, you've been holding it for too long. You don't get the permission to light it back up.
Roll, my friend. You kind of.
So, if we're smoking and we're talking and I let the joint go out, you don't get to relight it and hit it again. You have to pass it. Your turn is
That's
forced.
fair enough. That's fair. That is completely fair. But I've smoked with people too. It's the opposite way. Total insult. Smoke like that person too much. What? You gonna hand me a fucking out joint? Well, yeah. Light it. Light it. Here you go. Damn. Sorry. DOA. Man, I got a terrible lag. I wish there was some stuff I could turn on. Spiky Pilots. Man, it was cool hearing from Spiky Pilots last night. I definitely enjoyed talking with them.
Hell yeah. Cheers, Grommy. Oh, that's cool. We got
Noble,
all over.
Madam T.
It's crazy.
Turnout yesterday and I was amazing. And shout out to everybody. Everybody. Purple Thumb. So many great people that popped in yesterday. We had BC Conley popped in. I'm fucking sorry, Johnny Caneseed. I know I'm gonna forget some. Fuck, I smoked a lot of weed yesterday. Had to been at least 50 people, 50, 60 people on yesterday. I think it'd be fair.
A couple people jumped on, did a giveaway, and bounced too.
How cool is that? Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yesterday was wicked cool. Madam T out there doing her crystal giveaways. I need to hit her up. I want a blueberry, like vanilla candle so bad now. Cause I know my mom would like that.
They smell. They're nice candles. I'm not even gonna lie. He was nice enough to send me one. I burnt this one down to like fucking nothing, and it still smells amazing. And then I got this one here. This is what I'm gonna light. This fucking hold on. I'm stupid. There it is. Pretty bad.
We gotta
hold up an object right and make it.
You wanna hear something weird, bro? We got a candle that my mom used to light like recently, and every time she lit it, my dog's a rescue, and my dog would bug out. Every time the candle was lit, that it was like my mom smoked cigarettes, and I more vape, but if I'm stressed out, I'll smoke a cigarette here and there. But it was like a stop smoking, like stop the cigarette smoke candle, and every time she lit it, my dog bugged out, and she's like, I gotta stop lighting this thing. It's the only thing that's different. So I want to get her a candle that smells good, because like I said, she doesn't smoke, and she kind of doesn't like the smell of weed.
That always, well, I guess, some weed just stinks. It's just not growing right. It stinks.
I think she kind of gets his nose blind.
Damn near.
I forgot you lag. Sorry, bro.
It definitely could be the sin for the god.
Shit, I lost what I was gonna say. Yeah, so I figured I'm gonna hit Adam up and be like, let me get a blueberry vanilla one, please. And hopefully she can do it, and I can give it to my mom's.
They are pretty fucking nice candles. But it was awesome over here. Gives them away, man. Everybody gave shit away. King and Queen yesterday. Fucking
Purple Thumb threw a 10-pack out.
Again, I'm gonna forget. Fucking.
I know. That's the worst.
There were so many fucking cool people on yesterday, and I smoked a lot of candles.
How much did you go through, you think?
Sorry to anybody. At least a half ounce yesterday, plus dabs.
I
What's
went
dabs?
through. Wow, you went through a
Any
lot.
fail?
Holy shit, Eagle. I killed a gram of dabs and probably an eighth.
Smoked at least an eighth since we've been on tonight.
Really?
This is my third joint since we've been.
I
Yeah, this is
I
my third
dab
joint since
more.
we've been talking.
I
Eight
guess
nine
that
minutes.
I guess that's my thing. I dab way more than I smoke flower, but I smoke flower like when I first wake up, my first thing I reach for is a bowl pack, and then once my days started, I get a dab, and then it's dabs until the nighttime, and I'll smoke bowls. I'm kind of
See
simplistic.
now, I do some dabs. I do most of my dabs when I'm on the show. I sneak maybe a couple daytime dabs. When I had the rig there for a while, the week and a half at best it was a week and a half. They were getting more frequent. So
Yeah,
I'd see, it was sitting there all pretty. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take a dab. So they were getting a little bit more fucking frequent
that's what happens.
right now.
You're gonna end up getting a rig, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna get an e-nail. Fuck it, I don't want a torch anymore. And then you get an e-nail, so you don't have to have a torch anymore. I love dabbing. Dabbing, like, it gets me.
Oh no, I
How do I
was
say it?
offered a fucking email like the next day. That's what I got the rig. Jack Greenstock fucking had fucking Q-tips here like a day or two after I got the rig. Fucking make sure I kept it clean and shit. And then fucking Rude Nuts 619 offered me a fucking. He sent me a picture and it was like a bunch of colors. And I'm like, he's like, what color you like? And I'm like, I kind of figured it was heading in a bad direction. Or, it was a good direction, but for me, I don't like to take things like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm like blue. He's like, cool. I got a fucking email. I'm gonna send you and shit. I'm like, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it, but man, I can't take shit, man. I'm not good like that. If it were maybe a big company, if it's company, it's a different. If it's like a big company and they offer,
Yeah, yeah,
hey,
I
I
feel
think
you.
that's maybe a little different. But just from people, I don't. I can't go down that route. Even I didn't feel right. If it wouldn't have been like a spur of the moment, like on the air thing with the rig, I probably would have,
So,
respectfully passed. You know what
Sungrown's
I
a hell
mean?
of a
And
good
that's what I
dude.
did with the email. It was, but I can't, face to face. It's a lot harder to say no. That's how be honest with you. That's fucking one of how I got fucking started in this goddamn mess. It's not a mess. I enjoy doing it, you know what I mean? But this right here, this fucking shit right here was never in the cards. It was never in the cards. Never, ever, 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 ever in the cards. Subcool and Malik and Dung Beetle and fucking Sid Avery, all them fuckers, when they were trying to fucking do the sub thing when it started out, tried to fucking draw me in with all that shit. And I was like, no, no, I ain't putting my face online. Fuck that. I'm perfectly happy right here in chat, faceless. You know what I mean? I'm good with this shit. And it wasn't until uh Skill Bowl and fucking Sequence 3 fucking hit me up at Kushstock. I was vending the dank booth at the fucking Kushstock, and they come up and talk to me and fucking, hey man, we're thinking about starting this podcast, and it'd be great if we could get you on, man, make you, man, maybe the first episode, try to get you to be the first episode. Something fucked up. I was the second episode. The boss ended up being the first episode. Fucking so it went from that to now we're thinking about doing it Sundays. You want to hang out? And then I started doing it every week, every week, every week. And I kind of got a little bit more comfortable with fucking having my face on the air, and then it fucking
Yeah.
now look at the can of worms they have opened up. You know
Same
what I
thing.
mean? But up until and it was if it would have been a fucking text, if it would have been a fucking DM, I would have been like, nah. Face to face, full of compliments. You know what I mean? After a good conversation, I kind of went, sure. And I'm a fucking man of my word, or I absolutely try to be. You know what I mean? So I said yes. I had to fucking live up to what I said. Even when it came to, I ducked him. I think a few. I think that's how I actually got to be second. Is I ducked him. I ducked him like once or twice, and then ended up, living up to my word there, getting comfortable enough, be brave enough, I guess, to do it. So yeah, that's how the fuck.
That show kind of got
What got
me.
me this mess.
I
It is my
found
mess. I loved it.
so I found the Dude Grows show, and I was watching that, and I kept hearing Spartan get shouted out and Noob and all everyone, and then I was talking in chat, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to watch this show later," and I think it was actually the Michigan Bros, and that kind of sent me down that whole wormhole. This last couple, like, I want to say year and a half, I've been like watching the podcast. I want to say the last like year I've been like interacting in like the chats and like with people and stuff. And then I finally was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to go on and start hanging out. And then now, Eagle, dude, I got a podcast that like people can go listen to. Like I fell in love with like helping people like through these tough times, and like I have a lot of bullshit stories and stupid knowledge of dumb shit, and you have like a great personality to do the podcast. Like it's just a good mix for you, and I like how you put it on. You always have good guests. You always make every episode exciting. And you have people like me on the show that's not as famous as someone like Coot or Mr. Soul. I mean, I'm not even famous. I wouldn't even consider myself an influencer. But I like, now that I like truly love cannabis, I want to put my face out there, and like I want to be able to speak out when it gets legalized for the right things. I'm gonna probably be one of those faces that tries to push for it now, when it gets legal, and I'm gonna be one of those people that tries to make sure it gets legalized so we all keep our good rights, and they don't try to give us a legalization like Canada.
I could give you, as far as my journey down, man. There's tons of reasons that's kept me in my road with cannabis, and it's been many a journeys. It's taken me many places. It's lost me a few relationships, and fucking whatever, whatever. But it's taken me deeper and deeper into it. You know what I mean? It saved me. Like I kind of leaned towards there in the beginning. At one point, it saved my life, probably for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At another point in my life, once I started growing it, it started fucking changing me as a person, and saving me a hell of a lot of money. That's for sure. So it definitely went from the other way it was saving my life to having to dish out a little bit and actually pay for it. And it was fucking hurting. It was hurting and too costly. So that was one of the biggest reasons right there. I started cultivating. So it started changing my life like that. Those two reasons, and I became decided to take on a caregiver, And as I seen how cannabis could change your life and other people's lives medically with the plant like that, it sucked me into a whole new level with the plant. And then I started testing seeds, and that sucked me deep in,
Yeah.
deep in. And then when Sub asked me to actually rep for him and actually help him out like that, it became a whole new thing because I provided seeds however I could. You know what I mean, through the mail. Moreover, though, man, people don't like to send. I did PayPal a few times, whatever. People didn't weren't so comfortable with sending checks or money orders in the mail, and there wasn't a storefront, so that led me to a lot of fucking road trips. And I made a lot of fucking road trips, man. Fucking many miles, many hours, tons of fucking cool people. I actually preferred the road trips because I got to hear the stories and present them, with exactly, whatever. I could go over strain by strain with them and make sure we parted ways and they got exactly what they needed. But moreover than not, man, I got to meet the newbies, the people that really needed the cannabis plant. And man, the more I did that, the more the plant sucked me in, man. I still cherish some days of talking to them people, all the folks I got to meet through that period. It was honestly life changing. And then you're right, man, as popping my face out and start doing that aspect of it, getting a little rep like that as well, man, it did suck me in deeper. And then this necessarily didn't, it was to spot like growers and that and have fun, but I didn't realize it was going to be what it was then. You know what I mean? It was having fun, but it took on its own fucking thing, once it got going and once I seen how much it meant to myself and everybody else, it definitely couldn't end, man. It was just like, I wanted more and more, just keep driving and driving. So I get it, man. It's as it just keeps sucking you in. That plant has a weight, and it's as it sucks you in. What I've also found out of this incredible plant is just like anything else that it touches when it's like being cultivated. It has tendencies, to clean its environment around it. And I think I don't think I know in a lot of ways it cleaned me. It cleaned a lot of the bullshit out of me and changed me as a person. And it's still changing me as a person. As I do this night by night, there's certain individuals I've talked to that had fucking, and kind of just in a special way. There certain things they've said that made me reflect on myself. Uh, is still changing me day by day. You know what I mean? Sometimes I let them know in that episode that I took something away, from it all, and sometimes I don't. But it might not hit me for a few days. But this plant, this thing, it's evolving daily, and I hope that you and your podcast that you find the same journey. I hope it builds for you in this very same way, friend. I really do, because it's very gratifying. That's another thing too. I've been asked several times, as I've started this out by friends and shit. Are you making money yet? Fucking cares about the money, man. You ever heard about fucking gratitude, motherfucker? Pays to the soul, and it fucking carries a lot more weight than fucking dollars do. So I've never cared about the dollar. So this is something special to me, and this to this day, it's still the reason why I do it. And again, I hope you find that, brother. I hope that you get that out of your cannabis journey too, man. I really do.
It really did help me transform into a better person. Like growing a plant, learning how to care about something else other than myself, even like how do I say this? For a long time, like using drugs, supposedly I'm not a scientist. This is just stuff I've read. It can rewire your brain. You know what I mean? And that shit takes a little bit to fix, and I can truly give it to cannabis for helping me work through that rewiring back to a normal human that wants to help people. Like, I'm gonna try using my platform to I'm building this platform to try to help people in the end. I'm actually been thinking about maybe like doing counseling for like it's like serious and not just like being like a mediator, actually like going somewhere and helping people like that are in situations, and maybe being able to like go out on the streets and like be able to give them a place to go, because like I can do that stuff right now, but it's a lot more work, you know what I mean? And I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, so like I can just send them somewhere. I would like to help other people get through things, and I want other addicts to see how this plant changed my life and know that there is an ending out there as long as you're willing to change. Because for a long time I wanted to stop, but I wasn't willing to change. And by that meaning, I mean like I had to leave every one of my friends that I knew. I had to like stop talking to all of those people. The only people I really kept around are people that I knew before those like what 15, 12 years. I've literally this plant helped me transform and do that transformation, and I walked through that, and I know I can guide other people to maybe that wants to get clean, or that is like struggling getting clean and can't figure out what's going on, and I can guide them towards maybe cannabis, because cannabis really was the one thing that helped me, and therapy. But that's obviously you need like humans as like interactive creatures. Like we need human contact. Like we're not like we were born sorry, like every animal likes having like contact with something once in a while, every organism on this earth, you know what I mean? Like you can't just hermit your whole life and not talk to anyone. And growing and being an addict, like well sometimes for a long time growing put you there because the law put you there. You didn't want to have to do that, but you did it because the law did it. And then other addicts are stuck in that life, and I just want to show that there's a way out. You're on mute.
I seen that. I hate that mute button. Uh, that's pretty awesome, and I have fucking tons of respect for that, man. And this is something I've said it. I've talked about it a little bit, openly, but I don't like to talk about it. But I've lost a lot of. That's another reason for this pushing the cannabis thing is I've lost too many people to pharmaceutical bullshit. My mother, firsthand, died at my age, actually, from overdose, pretty much lifelong battle with fucking Vicodin and anything else, Norcos, everything she could touch.
I'm sorry, man.
And same thing with all my aunts and uncles, all dead from fucking pharmaceuticals.
And
I've
it
lost a lot
sucks
of
because it
friends,
put a lot
all
of pain on
recently,
you.
fucking to the fentanyl.
Like all that, like even if you weren't being an
Yeah,
addict,
fuck
just
yeah.
watching it, it
I
puts
mean,
pain
I
on
have a deep
people.
hate for that fucking.
I feel you, man. I found you. My mom's in your shoes. It's the worst, bro. Because we don't think like I just want to defend their actions just a little bit. We don't think that we're hurting other people when we're in the middle of it until after, when you get sober and you realize.
It sucks, man. It's I so I'm back to you, fucking shout out to you, brother, and fucking trying to help anybody trying to get clean because it is a hard battle for them. And people, like I've said almost every night, man, random acts of kindness. You have to reach out because sometimes there's people at the bottom that and I'm not talking about myself. They fucking when they're at the bottom have such a hard time, and sometimes it's what little bit of fucking self-esteem they have, or they're grasping to, that they don't want to reach for help, that it's almost easier for them to reach out for that pharmaceutical handful and just try to forget. And so that's why it's so important to check on people, tell them I love them. You know, you yeah, I ain't pointing anybody out. I had that conversation with the guys yesterday. I'm kind of in the same road. It kind of sounded like, and even though we want to see the best for them, we can never really give up. And that's what I did. I didn't give up. I just tried to use a moral high ground to try to get her clean in this case, and it didn't work out the way I wanted to. I tried to hold her granddaughter, my daughter, Brittany, fucking over her head as like a prize to get clean, and then in the process of trying that, she ended up passing. So I ended up losing 2 years. You know what I mean?
Damn, man, I'm
Instead of
sorry,
being
bro.
there and actually trying to help. So shout out to you, brother.
It sucks. It really does because our minds are so fucked up when you've done it for so long. Even like my uncle, I'm so proud. My uncle is 50 some odd, maybe almost close to pushing 60s, and he's actually I he was pretty much homeless, staying in a trailer in my front yard for a while, and I just kept every day like he would come in here, and I just be like, man, like what are you doing, like there was just things, I don't want to like personal things, but like there was just situations where you don't like clean yourself when he's a drinker. Sorry, I didn't say that. He is a full blown alcoholic, has never stopped really. Probably went to rehab for the first time a couple, like maybe a year ago. Um, so yeah, he wouldn't take care of himself. His skin would flake off like a fucking reptile. So I finally got sick of like babying it, and I just kept poking the bear like, bro, if I can get clean, you can get clean. Stop being a pussy. And and excuse me to any ladies in the chat, I don't like using that word. Um, but I said it to him a couple of times, and he finally said he moved out because he got sick of it, and he ended up at a bad spot, and that must have stuck with him because he is now went through detox, he went through rehab, and he's now staying in a halfway house and doesn't want to come back here. I'm gonna take a dab real quick. Do you wanna? Everyone want to take a dab in the chat and shit? Let's take a dab together. Cheers. Oh, I'm doing some purple punch, and obviously it's from purple
Take a
punch.
dab with you. Cut down the joint. Take a tap.
I don't know. I love dabs, man. It's just I'm probably gonna stick around for the rabbit hole. One, yeah, I'll probably stick around for the rabbit hole for a little bit, then zonk out. So it's dab time. um, anything else you want to know about me?
I mean, let's see here. Talked a little bit of life. I mean, we barely scratched this cannabis here. Talked a little bit of grow, but I
We
mean,
can get really, really into it.
what's some of your favorite strains in particular? Some of your favorite cultivars?
Oh shit, man, cannabis. I don't have a
Ah,
favorite.
that's the lazy answer.
I don't really have a favorite strain.
Get it?
I like wedding cake, wedding pies. Like I like that fruity with a little funk or gas to it. So if it's got that like nice terpene profile, I like it. I had I can say Terp Town, which is wedding pie by birthday cake from Canorado, and that's the one I said that I found like something that I wanted to keep, and I wasn't taking clones at the time, so I just hit it with some pollen of one of my males that I've kept around for a long time, and I was looking for a donor, and the male I used was a Chem 91 California Orange. So it put off. I'll show you. Hold on, real quick. Let me put this down. So that the girls of the Chem Dog the Chem 91 Calio put off the funkiest gas, earthy smell you'll ever smell. And the Terp Town was like a fruity with a little bit of gas. So I decided to hit it with the pollen from the male, and I was like, this should be a decent cross. That's the female of the Chem 91 California Orange. Hey, you're on mute again, Eagle.
I love just talking with my mic off.
Hey, at least I can notice.
Favorite things to do next to cannabis. Orange and fucking the chem seem to go good together. I accidentally crossed an Agent Orange male with a Dynachem. Agent Chem, I called it there. Fucking, but it was a good one, man. It had just enough of that orange taste to it, but had that chem buzz to it that I really enjoyed. And I kept her around for a while and kind of pulled the plug on her. Not everything's forever.
Yeah, and same thing with males.
It's a numbers game here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I probably you have a way higher number than I do. I'm a max of 12.
Gotta move on.
Even with a patient, so that sucks.
I can't even believe I said that to a guy that said he likes popping seeds. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're moving on almost like every run, probably. A little something different.
Yeah, I kept the pollen of the male. I don't keep my males around like other people do that want to use them. I just collect pollen, and I'll use that. Yeah, so I don't keep anything around. That's the other thing. I have a plant count, so mother plants is just a number. Off the count, I would have to grow bigger flower plants to make up for it. Oh, I gotta take this dab. Holy shit.
When you say big, what's big? I know. I was thinking that same thing. We'll take the dab. Take the dab first.
Yeah, we'll take that first.
Remember where the fuck I set my torch down. I know I'll fucking yak it up. Man, I'm a little pissy with fucking YouTube right now. YouTube Music, I guess, or Google Play, I should say, point the finger in the right direction. Man, I uploaded like 14 gigs of music back throughout, the last few years to Google Music. Then they sold out or whatever to fucking YouTube. And now I can't fucking access my fucking library through Google Music anymore. They want me to transfer it all to YouTube, which I think's bullshit. You know,
Yeah, if
what's
that
going to be happening? I'm going to have to listen to commercials between my music if I don't buy the fucking premium or what?
that sucks. I didn't know they sold out. It seems like that happens with that streaming shit though. Like
Actually,
I don't know.
I think that's what's going to happen to all our info that's on the cloud. They're going to let you upload, and then someday they're going to be like, you know what? How about $50 a month?
Yeah, you know that free stuff you have
You'll
up
be like,
there? We're
what?
gonna charge you now. We'd literally, they'd be like, "Hey, that free stuff you have in our cloud, well,
Then
that's
it'll be on.
service."
So when you can download it back,
So what are
download
you?
it back, it'll be in some fucked up format
It sucks because could
that
you?
only their player uses.
You couldn't even
Sorry, bro. I didn't
download.
mean to.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm like, we're talking. You couldn't even download them off Google Play just to a old iPod or something.
See that? Just like you can't take iTunes to like a fucking regular player. It's got to be, it's got to have that iTunes format,
I
whatever that
always.
is. Wave, and it's been a while since I did that shit. But yeah, Apple Music's way different.
Huh. That
Man, we
sucks.
got a few hanging out tonight. Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm watching chat. I'm just talking, so I'm on my laptop and I got the split screen between Zoom and chat. So chat's kind of like this big. So sorry if I miss your comments and stuff, but shout out to everyone. Actually, Eagle, while we're on
Oh no,
together,
I'm
I'm gonna pop some seeds. Give me a minute.
sure. Yes. I didn't hear what he said. Shit. What's up? Even Sammy Sizzle 81, Smoking Girl Fraser, Joe Why, even again, Jerry Bear, Spike Pilots, Fresno Nerds, what's up? Bake with Shake, baby. James Seaman, who else we got here? Cameron, shout out to you, brother. Miss Madam T, of course. Stoner Nation 420, Purple Thumb. What's up, Purple Thumb? Bob Groves, shout out to you. Hills, yeah. Four Plains. Hey,
All right,
Christian,
so
that's a new name.
you like my one of my little seed bags I keep in my vault?
I'm listening.
Um, I'm pretty sure this is your handwriting. I'm gonna pop some of Sub's
Oh
Agent
no.
Orange. I got them late, so I kind of put them in the safe until I had some spots open up, and I did. So there's 5 in here. I can pop 3 of them. So let's go ahead. Hopefully they all germ. Germ. It would be cool if
Most
I
of
got a
the
mail.
I heard good things about most of the Agent Orange. I think the Jelly Bean were a little finicky. From
I
what I
think it was the
remember.
other way around.
Was it the other way around?
Yeah, I heard the
I have to
Jelly
look
Bean
at my
did pretty
Agent
good.
Orange.
Okay, so maybe it was just a hit or miss, because I heard a couple people say their Jelly Bean did really good, and then some people said they didn't. I don't know. Maybe it was their techniques. You did send them out to a lot of people.
I did, but there's the other factor that they were the original beans too. They were the first version. They weren't the F2s that Miss Jill's selling of them now. they were actually the first, good jelly bean and Agent Orange seeds. So, what it actually, took took the reputation for what it is now. So if you get, they pop and they good, you're gonna have some what made the reputation for them strains, not any anything that was remade thereafter. That's for sure.
I think I might, cause one's really light, and this one looks. All right, there's four going in. I'm saving one just in case something happens. Male or female, I can use it. That's weird though for people to say like a lot of people would probably throw that last seed in there, you know what I mean, and say fuck it, German. I'm like, I'm gonna save one seed just in case. Um,
Try. I try to save two
even if it's
out of
a
a 10.
even if
Out of
it's
a
a
10.
male though, you could just hit it with something, you know what I mean, and you'll just have a bunch more seeds like always. That's what I think of it, male or female.
That's
If,
that. I guess not as good though. You want to smoke that shit, not weed.
nah,
You know
you're
what I
right.
mean? I that's why I keep trying to out of 10 packs. Out of every 10 pack, I try to save two. That way, I can in a pinch or whatever. If I want to try to regrow it, I can drop the two. Hopefully, I get two girls, of course, but you know, it's a 50-50 shot if they're regular seeds. So hopefully dropping two, I've got 50-50 shot. I'm gonna get at least one female out of
Yeah,
it in the pinch. You know what I mean?
I've had decent luck with regular seeds. I don't since my plant count was 12, I always really gravitated towards feminized seeds because it was easier. I grew some regular seeds, which was from a breeder out in Maine called Vitamin C, and I had a male for um, like out of them, and I was like, shit. And I didn't want to cut it down, but I was like, damn, I don't want to breed this one. So like, I have a hard time cutting my plants down. So it's like when I pop a regular seed, I like if I get a male, I want to be able to use it, kind of thing. And if I have to chop something down, I kind of compost it and right back into the garden.
So since you pop a lot of seeds, you must have a pretty good germ rate, and it just happens to be that. Well, I seen the question in chat, but I also got that question in a DM the other day, kind of wanting to be talked about on the show. And, well, better than that, no time better than now. So, what's your technique on germinating seeds, and or just popping seeds in general? What's your process?
I actually never really did this tech before. Put it in the cup of water. I've always been a paper towel in a bag. I still have some. But with older seeds like these ones that I know are older, I'll go with the cup of water first, and then I'll do the traditional. Once if they sink, I'll do the traditional baggie full of like seeds, and once they get the tails, I started using cells again just to make my own little plugs because it's easier for me, and then I whatever size I go in. I don't over water these, I know that, but when I go into something bigger right away, I tend to over water, or yeah, it's probably mostly me.
So, and that's pretty much the method, your average method.
Let's
No
yeah.
twist of turn.
No, I go to my sink. I put some water on a paper towel. I lay that paper towel right where I'm sitting. I throw those seeds on it. I wrap it up, and I put it in that thing. But oh, this might be the good part. I always keep them in my bottom drawer where my seeds are. I have is in like a clothing drawer, so I always keep them in there. I put down. It's got a um, not a heated mat, but like a kind of like a hand warmer. At first, I'll have a hand warmer in a pair of pants in there because it will get kind of cold maybe some nights unless I'll have this heat kick on. So I'll put a hand warmer in there just so it stays warm, and I'll throw they're like pair of pants like this, and then on top another one, and I've got I want to say like a 95 to 98% with the seeds I've bought or made. I can't say that for stuff people given me.
For question's sake and just kind of require's sake, I've got the paper towel method for me is my least favorite method to germinate with out of everything I've tried over the years. Uh, it's either two ways I'll go about cracking seeds. Uh, Either the soak method, like you just spoke of, mine's a little different. I actually will let them go a little bit further. I let them, and that, again, I'm just like, this is more of a germ rate test, but if they go further, they go further. Soak them. I want to see them actually crack. They'll say if you let them stay in that cup for a minute, they'll crack, and you can actually get a nice little tail, half-inch tail out of them. And at that point, I'll dump them out into a little tray for a 1 gallon pot. The ones that are like 4 or 5 inches, something like that, big little tray. I'll dump that shot tray into there, and then I'll go into a solo cup. And so this is important too. From that point on, this is really important. When you put your soil into that cup, there's two good things here you can do good techniques that I've learned over the years. A, start low in that solo cup, maybe about a third of the way down, drop that seedling in there. Make sure that shit's wet. You know what I mean? Put it in there, and then as that seedling comes up, you can back fill in that cup a little bit so it keeps it from getting all linky and falling around as she comes up. Even as she's coming up, and those first set of leaves, you pop up, rebury back in, give that plant. By the time it reaches that top of that solo cup, she'll have some nice girth to that stem and a nice root structure. Or you go the full cup, and you make your hole, but again, it's got to be pre-watered. Nice. And then drop your seedling in there, tap root down. Hopefully it'll shed that shell on the way up.
Sometimes,
and
yeah.
Don't water. That soil's got to be wet first. Because if you put the seedling in there and then put the soil on and then water, there's a good possibility you may drive that thing further down to where it may not come back up, or it may just fucking struggle tough. So I always like to make sure it's wet first and then barely knock some shit over the hole and give it a better chance of coming up.
Yeah.
That's my one method. And now the other method that I'm more prone to, that I actually, that's my go-to, is actually soaking some root riot cubes and then taking them upside down so they're like pyramid up. And I've got this nice plastic little dome that's where I could set 12 of them pretty much standing up, nice space. And so I puncture a hole, just, in the root riot cubes, and I'll drop the seed. I'll soak them first in water and 10 mils of Clonex, and then drop that seed in there, maybe 3/8 of an inch, and actually let them stay in that cube and in that dome until I've got a nice tap root pushing out the bottom, almost sometimes some right out the sides, just wetting them, with the spray bottle, keeping that cube wet with the spray bottle until I'm ready to transplant. I have almost 100% germ with that, you know, on fresher seeds. I must say that,
Yeah.
and I'm happy with transplanting them. So that's my two methods. But the last one's the one I prefer to go to. I keep them a little bit longer. Seems the root riot cubes seem to, as they push through there, it seems to build a thicker tap root. And again,
Yeah,
sometimes
those
it
are.
pushes a few out to the sides there as
I stopped
well.
using those. I started to just
Oh,
kind of pack so because they don't break down. They take
yeah, they're
forever.
right there.
You know, like
You got it there.
I feel like they do break down, but they're I think they're covered in something that like prevents them for a long time. It takes them a while. Like I could probably go outside and see where I probably had one out there a couple of times and it's still sitting out there. You know what I mean? That's the only reason I stopped using them.
Yeah. I still use them, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen them, as I break down them roots, man. I've seen them. You can still see them on the seed runs around the fucking where they sprouted and everything. They broke down almost everything in the pot, but you can still see that little fucking thing. I've heard, I haven't seen them firsthand, but I've heard they make a similar one out of cocoa. So it kind of fucking breaks down. It holds its own for a bit, but as it grows,
Well, it's a
grows
Jiffy,
on.
the Jiffy pot ones. Yeah, I know exactly. They sell them at.
No, it's not the
Oh,
pugs.
I thought
I don't think
that's
it's the
cocoa though, right?
pugs. Yeah,
I
it's
figured that was
no,
always
that's
cocoa.
Pete. That's
Oh,
Pete.
is it?
Them are
I never
Pete
used them.
pugs. Yeah, that's Pete pugs. I've seen cloner rings like that too. Yeah, you can actually put in your cloner. They're actually cocoa, to where you don't even you just pull it out and drop that whole thing in there. You're not even reusing like the donut.
Hmm.
You just open it up, slide the clone in there, and when it takes off root, and you just throw that ring and fucking right into your medium, and you just start off with a new cocoa ring. And your next, so you're never washing those rings. You're just starting out with little cocoa pucks in your fucking cloner every time. I thought them were pretty ingenious.
Huh.
But you're right, man. Them fucking things don't break down for shit.
That's why, like,
But I
I
don't.
kind of.
My lawnmower takes care of that in a few runs.
That's why I got like I shouldn't have shot away from my like my technique that was working in that little spot the whole time. I like these. I was using those forever. The Root Riot plugs, the same ones, and I noticed that. So, um, I take a little bit of cocoa, a little bit more cocoa, and I take some compost and I mix it together and I kind of pack it down, like not too hard, but it's and I make like its own little plug. When I pull it out, it comes out. It maybe leave a little bit, but for the most part, it all comes out with the roots when I pull it out. That's kind of why I stopped using them. I said, why am I fucking spending extra money if I could just shove them in here and it does the same thing?
Right on.
But I
You're
will.
right. If you pack them good enough, they do work pretty good.
And I only use the dome for this much time. Like that's nothing for a seedling. You know what I mean? This dome comes off as soon as it gets like past this, and it's only. Where's the lighter? Ugh, it's only like that big, so I don't keep a dome on them. I don't baby my seedlings, really. I inoculate them. Everything like that cup I just used, probably I inoculate. I sprayed it with microbe water before I put regular water in there, just so there's a little bit of microbes floating around. I always do that stuff before.
And that's it. I like to fucking beat him up once a day with a pencil. Just kind of knock him over. Once. It helps build up, makes them a little bit stronger there in the seedlings phase.
Yeah, you like
Just knock them over gently once a day.
Spartan was like, yo, I don't baby my seedlings. You might as well not baby them, because figure out what's gonna make it through, like whatever parameters. Like your parameters should still be set for a decent veg, you know what I mean, and your light should be set at a decent height. You shouldn't need much than a fan blowing back and forth. It would get that wind on them, and it builds that stalk up way more than you would think. People don't realize, like, that little bit of wind, if you keep it going by them, not like sitting on them the whole time. I never have like a fan sitting on my seedlings. It's always rotating back and forth on like a very low speed. Just a little gust of wind, you know what I mean? And it blows them a little bit, and I swear, like you said, it's a stronger stock.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's most definitely a great reason, if any, to keep your plants moving like that. My good friend there, Sub Cool, when he was live and early on in his grow videos there, he had always had one of those, like almost like a construction floor fan. You know what I mean? They'd spin and just shoot along the ground level. He would always take them fucking that thing, pick it up, and like fucking just beat those veg girls up with it. Just walk around, fucking knock them over and shit. And man, them fucking plants love that shit. Loved it.
I wish I got to meet more and see more of Sub Cool. I only got to meet him once, but I never knew he had like a podcast or anything like that.
Oh, he's still got tons of episodes.
I do. I watch him now. Since the Mendo boys shout him out all the time. That's kind of who got me really hip to him. I was following the Mendo boys when I wasn't really following a lot of people on Instagram and stuff, and they have a huge respect for that man, and they should. So should Jinx and everyone else that man has helped bless to become a breeder or an influence. You know what I mean? What they are now. He did a lot of good shit for good people, and he was a good dude. When I met him that one time he was shit funny as hell, funny as hell, but he'll tell you if he doesn't like you. Seen that real quick. Or if he doesn't like something. But he was cool.
He's a funny dude, man.
I met him and Jinx. They were together.
Must have been right 9-pound hammer days, 2013.
Yeah, and I never got into the podcast, and I wish I did. I really kind of just started emerging the last couple, like, year and a half. For real. Most of it was all book knowledge I read. And then other, whatever else came, the green thumb kind of came from my dad, having a garden my whole life.
It definitely transfers over easy enough. That's one of the things too. You know, it never. I can't figure out why more growers, when they want to learn how to start growing, you know, there's some techniques that can be learned firsthand. You know, in cannabis books, training, topping, shit like that. But it's growing. It's growing. It's basically like fucking growing anything else. So why aren't you, you know, why don't we start with agriculture and farming books, gardening books, you know, botany books? It's all applies, and then your knowledge from there applies from your cannabis garden to your garden to fucking anything else you want to grow. You understand it all at that point.
Yeah. I want to learn how to graft. Like, that's my new. Have you ever see Light Attic? He did
That
seven.
tool?
He did seven. No, it's a kid. I think his Instagram handle's Light Attic. He did 7 strains on one stem, growing. That shit's cool. So there's a huge debate now that grafting's becoming a thing. That if
I just don't. And I've argued with a few people about this. About I think I don't see how it could not blend in time. Maybe not in the first few years or whatever, but in time, I think shit would blend. I think it would be fucking. I mean, how could it not? You fucking cut your arm, put a new one on.
nah,
Sooner or later, your
yeah,
body's gonna accept it and fucking. It's gonna think it's its own.
I'm with
I
you.
think you pump enough blood through it. How could not? How could it not absorb your blood and be you? It might be somebody else's, but as your blood pumps through it, it's yours.
I'm with you on that. I think there is. I'm on the do believe in genetic drift side. After a while, I think you'll get. I think it would be cool for someone that has a really low plant count, like 4 in Canada, and kept one plant they graft to as a mother, and they kept the strains, and then they could take clones for their other 3 plants of whatever strain they want to grow. I think that would be cool, and then after a while you cut that whole branch off and start over with a new one, you know what I mean? Something like that. I think it would be cool. This is just like the tissue culture conversation coming up in cannabis. You think it's going to be a big thing or not? It's big in
Oh, for sure, undoubtedly, undoubtedly. I'd like to utilize it myself right now. To be honest with you, I've as far as what you're talking about, a whole bunch. I have fucking re-vegged a lot of buds, flat out buds, flat out buds with sugar leaves and one little fucking shade leaf on it. Through roots, fucking grew out whole plants from them, fucking just a bud. You know what I mean? But if I could, again, the reason and in thinking behind that, it didn't. It actually re-vegged faster than a plant in a whole pot. Cutting it down, re-vegging it in that pot. That process, throwing roots, going through re-veg was faster in the bud, and it saved me a shit ton of space. So, now if I could, that's one of the reasons I never kept moms. My moms are cut moms. You know what I mean? I'm taking cuts. I'm making sure one's alive. That's my mom. If I fucking want more in the library from that book, that strain, that cultivar, I pull that book, that cultivar out. I veg her up. I take fucking a bunch of cuts from it. Fucking get a bunch ready for that run. You know what I mean? Run that soon as all the cuts take off. That mom goes to flower. Go fucking flower. Get the fuck out of here. Then that fucking the next round where you know what I mean, where I pulled out 4, 6, 8 for that run, whatever it be for the 10, wherever the fuck they're going, how I need to fill that space. I make sure there's 1 or 2 left so to put back into the library. Next one, if I want another strain, I pull that girl out. Same thing. Veg her up. Let mom go. Next round, I got fucking Agent Orange. You know what I mean? It's just thinking ahead of the game of what you want to see next. But that gets to be a pain in the ass. Now, if I could just take fucking tissue cultures like I talked with Rafter about, fuck, man. Now I ain't even got to keep moms or fucking nothing like that. I could, with as many strains I ran in the hundreds, fuck, who wouldn't like to have a fucking 300 fucking vials in their fucking fridge? You know what I mean? Instead of never losing anything. Even more so, I think they're important with breeding. You know what I mean? So that even every time I believe a seed stock is produced, I think there's just a slight bit of drift there. Every time, you and your wife, you and your girlfriend have a kid, is it exactly a duplicate of the last? No. There's, just a different way that, it took pollen. Male might have been stronger, environment plays the key in there. But
yeah.
even more so, you know, just from that or losing the strain, that's happened a lot. You know, breeders lost the strain, had to recreate. What
Yo,
better way to keep mom and pop in vitro in a fucking tissue culture, and then just as they want. Again, we can only keep and work so much. Why not put mom and pop into a fucking in vitro and tissue culture and be able to work on a new project? And then when I want to make new seeds of that, all my supplies gone, bring mom and pop back out, smack out a new batch of breeds, and there we go again. Put her right back in the tube. That would be amazing. You know,
It
and
does make
clean,
sense.
and clean on the way out. You know what I mean?
You know, it does make sense for stuff like that. Like you could possibly have 10 like dedicated fridge and have 10,000 different strains in there if you spent the time. You know what I mean? And you could decide to pull out whatever you probably forget you got shit in there. I think it will be viable for the cannabis industry. They said I had my cat. They want me to do a Doctor Evil impression. $1 billion.
There it is. I was reading it as you get ready to do it. Good one too.
Oh, and I'm
Yeah,
saying,
it has its pluses and minuses. Well, I'm hoping that with like the influence of people like Rafter, that it'll reach a home scale to where people can do it on their own. We don't have giant like Philo-sized banks that again are fucking Google, same thing as the internet, basically. Yeah, we got your shit. Yeah, we got your shit. You want it back? It's gonna be twice as much, and you're gonna have to wait till I get to it, bitch. You know what I mean? Either that or just corrupt companies going, yeah, he's got that fucking cookies cut store over here. You know what I mean? Another breeder going, I'd give you fucking 50 G's right now for a clean fucking tissue culture of that bitch. Off to the side, out to the back door. You know what I mean? Or then even worse, the cat himself just playing fucking Dr. Evil. I've got a million strains. I've got all the keys. I know which one does what. I know genetically who I've got to cross with what to get what. I don't like that aspect of it.
you know what I was thinking?
Because that guy's going to fucking cock block everybody.
Hell yeah. I was thinking someone should start. You know how there's like a national or like, yeah, I think it's actually World Seed Bank. I'm pretty sure it is. They just have all the different types of seeds just in case anything. I think someone should do something for cannabis strains. Man, I think with tissue culture coming, something will be like that. And they will be able to like it. It's gonna be cool. Especially with hopefully let's everyone whoever you believe in, if you don't believe in anyone, just pray for good vibes that legalization comes soon and make sure we get our real rights because it's coming and this stuff's gonna be technology's gonna be thrown at it like crazy for a while. It's gonna be fun to watch like the unfolding and who uses it and who doesn't.
More of a bank, I would just like to see more of a test data bank. More, see more people getting their strains tested, terpene profiles, THC, CBD contents, all the range and cannabinoids, their count. That way, as everybody's popping seeds when that one is found, and it has all the traits say that another person's looking for, or they've known that this profile is carries this traits to help with this and that, then they can go, wow, this guy just popped this strain, you know what I mean, and it had all those traits. So now, you know what I mean, that's another strain we could be looking for streezers and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool without somebody actually sitting on all the material itself. I think I would be more game for something like that.
I think Tanazi Gardens is he was really hyped that he was seeing it come into the cannabis, and he's like in a. I've noticed a lot of the mushroom growers are really hyped for it, because they're already ready for it. You know what I mean? They're like, fuck yeah, tissue culturing weed now. Let's get it. I'm already doing mushrooms. I got one on the way. Shout out to Nazi, brother. I don't got a Tanazi. I got one of my peoples on the East Coast does the mushroom thing. North Spores. He's a really cool guy. They're up in Maine. So I think I'm gonna hit up. He does the spores too. So I grabbed one grow bag from him of pink oysters, and then I'm gonna discuss with Tanazi about helping me set up a mono tub and using his stuff, because I want to support Tanazi too, because that's a good ass dude right there.
Yeah, for real, for real. And I don't make nothing out of it, but I am trying to help out a buddy. If you're interested in looking up the Sacred Three mushrooms and ordering a kit, he did throw out a code both times he's been on the show. Eagle, save you 10% on your order. Again, just helping out you and a friend there. Awesome dude. that fucking that last episode was really fun.
He's a
We
fun guy,
both
man.
times he's been on the show, we've been sure to nod and beforehand on the invite. It's gonna be that kind of episode. You know what I mean? So both times, man. I know I've went deep the last few times, man. The first time, I think we were both really, really deep into the rabbit hole by the time the fucking show started. And it was a good episode, man. Both of them good episodes there.
I got I have some of the funny mushrooms, but um I'm not I'm not gonna take them. They're actually getting sent to someone that needs them. So I'm helping out a friend. I can't wait till I can start, even not just the funny mushrooms, like the medicinal, like Reiki and shiitake and shit. I just can't wait to have like mono tubs and grow them. It's just cool.
Lion's mane, that's an important one.
I think it's cool to have, and they help if you can set it up near your grows. You know what I mean? That then you a lot of people like don't have CO2, and if they put that in there, their CO2 will like the the ambient CO2 will, even in a tent, will rise a little bit. I have a little CO2 generator in a tent, and my shit stays at between 7 and like 800. So it's double at like average atmosphere CO2 level at all times.
And the mushroom, the mycelia fucking network, man, it gets more and more interesting the more and more I learn about it. Again, it's just one of them things that just kind of, I think the cannabis and the mushrooms have both been issued in to this in particular time to kind of help issue us into like another phase in our life. I've said it fucking a ton of times. And I was listening the other day, I've been listening to a lot of mushroom stuff lately, not necessarily just mushrooms, but microbes. Today it was the Dirt Cure on Audible, which was so far a fucking amazing book. Um, but the thing that's really weird about the mushrooms mycelium network is they're so much like us in a lot of ways. We breathe in oxygen and excrete CO2 much like they do. They're not like a plant. They don't fucking take in CO2 and put out oxygen. It's the other way around. They're pretty smart, organism as well. Without having a brain, man, they show. I've seen some fucking studies where they actually solve all those simple problems and shit. It's pretty fucking crazy. And they also say that I seen a study the other day that said they actually believe our gut, the bacteria and the shit that's going on in our shit is half our brain. It's almost like a second brain, they called it, making a good portion of our decisions, which I thought was pretty fucking crazy as well. And then that book I was listening to today, man, it was just taking it further on like good gut bacteria and keeping it in check with bacteria and like diseases that we have, you know. I mean, across the board, this lady says, she could was healing people's shit just by eating different foods and getting more and more micros in their systems. She could tell by the system, like, it was funny. She said she had all these people that would come to her with kids with anxiety and all these other problems, and the first question she was asking was basically, "What's your stool look like?" And fucking from starting there, she was fucking helping people fucking cure anxiety and a lot of these diseases, reversing some diseases in some cases from changing the micro shit in your gut and your biology there. It was fucking fascinating, man. So, and again, you start talking a little bit about mushrooms and fucking, our brain, fixing things in our brains. It's pretty awesome, man. It's very interesting. Next
Es-
level kind of stuff, I think.
Yo, especially micro dosing for PTSD and stuff. Tanazi, he's a veteran, so like he microdoses and stuff for like issues, and it helps them, and it helps other people. I know that microdose, and they're not taking like a gram at a time. They're taking like a point 0.1, point 0.2, and a cap with some other beneficial mushrooms, um, and they love it. I just kind of like it because, like you said, it works in a system perfect because the cannabis plant takes in CO2, exhales oxygen, or disperses oxygen, and then our mushrooms and mycelium take in that oxygen and exhale CO2 like breathing. So it's a perfect like coherent bond, you know what I mean, between the two. One thing that does creep me out is the cordyceps brand or like species of mushrooms, which is the one that takes over insects like brains and shit. Kind of creepy.
Like,
Yeah, you never heard
that's
of
pretty
those?
wild.
You've probably
No,
heard of
no,
them.
tell me about it.
All right, so the one I heard about first was cordyceps that take over ants. Um, it's really weird. So the fungus, the spores are so small, it gets on the ant and infects its body. It controls the ant's brain or whatever ant has into doing things that it wouldn't not naturally do, like go out up on a top of a plant and sit there where a bird could eat them. But they're doing that because when the cordyceps gets to a certain point, the ant dies and it explodes out the ant's head, and the spores go everywhere. So the mushroom controls the ant until it's at a, it's like it's until it's at a place where it's ready to excrude its spores. It's weird. It's a weird one, and there's multiple different species. There's ants. There's cordyceps that grow in Asia that are on shit. What the fuck are they? Caterpillars, and they're wicked rare and wicked expensive. I say wicked. I'm an East Coaster. Sorry, guys. Um, they're really expensive. If you ever look into it, just start looking into the cordyceps mushrooms, and you'll start. That's a rabbit hole in itself, man.
Well, I love rabbit holes.
I was gonna
I love rabbit holes.
I was gonna say I'm down to open up the rabbit hole. I'll stay on for another hour, but we can let people on and chill. And if they want to talk about anything, I'm open to talk about addiction or whatever.
Well, we only opened it up so far. Past yes, that's as far as the rabbit hole goes. It's as deep as the rabbit hole goes. Is whoever wants to jump on, right? I don't know. We could do that. We could do that.
It's up to you. I don't care. I could keep going on here. I just figure I like when homies jump on. It's like chilling at the bar. If you want to ask anything, you want to know anything else before we do it, we could do that real quick.
Ah, let's see here. You know, we well, it's it's up to you. Like, it's up
Shit.
to you. We didn't really talk to grow technique or nothing like that. I usually try to get a little bit into that, but it's whatever.
I can get
It's
into that
whatever.
real. I could do a little splurge. I could do like 15 minutes on that shit. Yeah. We didn't really talk about how I grow. Much more of life shit. Yeah, we could talk about some. So, right now I'm in a 5x5 and that old 5x3x5. Um, I'm organic soil. I use plastic and fabric pots. I like popping seeds, like everyone heard. That's just the thing I do. I will keep a clone, like I kept a couple of clones of the Terp Town to specifically make seeds with. I do things like that. Um, I don't. I scrog, I top, I do everything. It depends on what the plant's looking like or like how I'm feeling on how big I want to make it, how long I want to veg it, if I want to fill out a 5x5 one plant or if I want to fill out a 5x5 with four plants. You know what I mean? So I could take the time to scrog it out to a full 5x5 with one plant. I've done it. It's just a pain in the ass. So I like keeping four plants in that, four decent sized plants flowering at all times now is what my plan is to be doing. Plus having a couple autos flowering at all times also on top of popping or having seedlings and vegging in that like transition. Um, right now, like I told you earlier, everything was fucked up, but I'm starting to get the groove back. I shouldn't have changed everything. I thought I wanted to test lights for companies and do that shit, but I decided kind of against it because I don't really care. It's just extra work that I rather build a better garden for myself than have to report back or tag someone. I started doing it. I got a couple test lights and they're not bad. I got one in my tent right now. It's the reason why I said yes is cuz I wanted to upsize and they were willing to give me a free light for pretty much nothing in return, just a review. And I said, "All right, I'll do that." You just want a review? Shit, fuck yeah, send it. And it's not a bad little light. It's got four 3K cobs on it, and then it's got some 660 nanometers and some blues. It's a really nice. My flower spectrums are really orangey pink because I got that 3K HPS in my flower room, and I'll probably keep that in there all year round. I got to get a new bulb for it this upcoming after this next flower, but I like it. It gives that like my flower room is really fucking orange. Like when you look at it, it looks like the tent in your back where your HPS is, and I'm running some LEDs, so it's cool. I like it. And it's the first time in that tent like flowering, so this is the first time under that spectrum that I created. So I'm kind of like I'm still like getting my feet wet with all of it. But my little my little veg tent, I got a little 100-watt board, 5K board, and then I got another 5K. It's like it's not many watts. It's only like maybe 50 watts. It's a light bulb that I just have in there for the seedlings. And then I have a little seedling section for that one light bulb, and then I have the little board for the vegging like style, and then I like I'm just learning all this new stuff too, guys. Like this is like a new learning experience for me. Like having two tents is different for me. Having three lights going is different. I'm used to just having one light and flipping things to 12-12, and now I'm like not I'm trying not to have to flip the light switch anymore. You know what I mean? I just want to grab it from this tent. All right, this one's ready. It's going in. And maybe I've been thinking I might do that and put them under that spectrum and leave them in veg for a day or two and then ease them into flower now, because I think the difference in spectrum, I just want to ease them into it a little. I don't know. See, I'm just learning this stuff for this new spectrum, so I think I might veg in there for like a day or two.
Yes, you remember the smart boxes that were fucking there yesterday? You remember the
Yeah.
smart the earth boxes and shit were there yesterday. Now they've slid backwards into their home because they were under LED. You know, that light that's above that right there is an LED T5 setup. So that's exactly what goes on there. They just slid back into there. And now, just because that light's all linked together there, so I can't necessarily fucking uh, shut that on its own cycle there. So I'll leave that tent actually open for a few days and let it actually be its own little veg area for a day or two. So it's getting used to that, just like you said, that spectrum for a few days, maybe a week, and then it will get fucking tossed over into you know I'll start closing the doors on time,
Okay.
cutting it off.
So it's good. I
But
should do that. I just kind of threw the White Widows in there at 12-12 because they were kind of where I wanted them. Um, they didn't shock them. They actually flipped really fast. I did it the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm already. It's showing them. It was showing. It was showing at a week in flower, and I was really happy with it. I definitely nitrogen hungry plant. That's another thing. You learn popping so many different seeds and cultivars that like there are so many different plants that need so many different things. Like not every plant's the same feed for me, and I like this one needed more nitrogen. Excuse me. Oh, nitrogen than I've ever had to use. I've never had to use this much nitrogen on any of my mixes. I've uh, I've never had to like this plant never had to water in extra nitrogen for it. You know what I mean? I always had enough. So yeah, I definitely ran out of gas. So I'm learning like the regenerative soil or the living soil stuff too. So that's where I want to go, like I said, and then be able to flip from one tent to the other. And that shit, that fucking timer is wicked easy. So I could let it sit in there for like a week at 18 and then get it used to it and then flip it down. I love organic, like I said. It's just I don't know. It was easy until you start fucking with your shit, and then when you start messing with your organic stuff, you got to relearn it, like redo your mix or do someone's exact mix, like Smiley's or Coots or someone's. You know what I mean? They've that done their research and knows what the hell that it's gonna be. But like I'm also trying to skip that year of living soil break-in. Like you don't get, like people say you don't get your best living soil for like harvest for the first year or so. So that's why I do still water and stuff, so I still get those like nice luscious plants. Like I'm still trying to get like plants that look like this, but it didn't happen. So I got to keep the same thing I was using and add a little bit more to the soil next time.
that's partly my drawback right there of again with the soil shit. I appreciate the mixes and all that. Well, I gather from what like the Smiley the Coots makes, it's pretty much mix and ready from what I understand. But like Super Soil took time to mix. That's when I didn't like that. I got caught up in the cook time. You know what I mean? Got got where I needed to dip it in them barrels and got into a hot mix, and it kind of fucked me. I didn't like it. And soil like it's, but we're talking about like just soil now. There's a difference between soil, using soil, and then a living soil. When I'm thinking
Yep.
about going organics, that's more where I'd like to be. And that's the drawback. I can't do my system and be in that type of, I can't rotate. You're locked in. You're more like you know what I mean? I've got a tent started. This one's going to go start to finish here. I can't rotate in and out as easily. I feel like that. You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna fucking stick to where I'm in soil, but I'm gonna fucking dump it out every time, and then mix more, fucking, why not stay in my cocoa? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because my
Yep.
cocoa, I can I'm flushing it out, and I reuse it at least once or twice, and then I chuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until it actually gets to where most people don't buy their cocoa, that's when I'm chucking mine out. When it's not chunky and it's all fine, I'm actually, it's time to go. That's
I'm trying to
so
get to the point where like I guess I'm probably gonna end up doing worms and shit. You know what I mean? It's gonna be that whole rabbit hole too, because the inputs are so much easier, and it speaks volumes for how many people say good things about it, and you don't hear negative things about worm castings much at all. You know what I mean? So like organically, it just seems like the way to go, and I want to have one. I don't want to have beds. I don't like beds. You know what I mean? It's just not my thing. I don't mind what Smiley gave you. You want to show those off real quick? I'll show. Like I don't mind those real quick. Like those are perfect size. I think.
they're in the tent. This camera's on lockdown, dude. It's on a boom.
Oh
You know what I mean?
yeah, they're
It
like
spins around and looks like this, at my screen. And that's about as far as I'm moving shit.
he's got one like he's got a square box or a rectangle box like a tub. I want to be
It's
able
way back there.
to do that and maybe get one or two plants in it. I don't want to have a big bed, like a big 5x5 bed. You know what I mean? It just seems like a lot of everything in that space. I want to be able to still walk in my tent, and if like a bar breaks or something snaps in the back corner, I don't have to crawl on my soil to get it, or because I only have one side, two sides I can get in on my tent the way it's set up. So if something broke on the other side, I would either have to it would be hard. So I like the idea of those tubs, but I want to have a worm bin in itself, and then kind of like throw worms in a pot and just plant in that, but do the normal cell shit like we were talking about earlier for seedlings and stuff. Just boop.
The only drawback that I've ever had to using earthworm castings was top feeding with them. And that was it. After like multiple top feedings with worm castings and not necessarily tilling them under with your fingers in between, that's what I ended up having to do with it. Every time I watered with it, I ended up having to take my fingers. I gotta put this fucking camera right back where it was. I don't know.
My bad. I
Making
made him move
gestures in
it.
the fucking opposite direction. No. But when like fucking you're mixing, every time I go to water, I'd end up having to take my fingers and loosen up that fucking cup, that top layer, because if that them worm castings and a couple of top feedings made a nice little crust, and it dried out quick, and then every time I fucking watered, it wanted to send things off to the edges first until that first layer of fucking worm castings, actually got a little wet, and then
Yep.
things would soak through. But if I didn't go through, to avoid that, I had to go through and break it up every time and try to till it under it with every time. It was good for the plant, but it was like an extra step to watering that I didn't like. So that was
Here,
the only drawback.
well, the only thing I think, like, I have a 5 gallon fabric pot. I was kind of gonna do a living soil in, but I have I have chamomile as cover crops on them. Um, so my chamomile will be sprouting probably in the next week or so. I should be getting flower buds on the chamomile, which is cool because chamomiles are really good. Just thing to have around for teas and shit. And bugs in the tent. I was Nothing bothers it. Like the smells off the chamomile and stuff. Like it just seems to work really well. So I was trying to do it, but like I know when I pull like this is what I don't get if you do like a 40-gallon tote or like the totes or like a 5 or 7 gallon pot. When I pull my root mass out, that all of it's coming with me. I'm not getting like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to bang it off, and I feel like you always lose some when you're doing that. When like like breaking apart a root ball, you lose a little bit of soil every time. So
Yeah, yeah.
and then you have to fill in if you're doing a big 5x5 bed. When you pull that thing out, you're gonna have to fill that hole again. So you put it back in, and I get it, but it just seems like a little bit more work than I need. I like the pot idea with like a worm bin on the side and throw some worms in the pot too. Fuck
Man,
it.
Lowenfeld said on the show, he was saying not even to pull that bitch. Yeah, and 420, as I just said it. Lowenfeld said we cut it off right at pretty much ground level there, maybe a half inch above, and the worms take care of that shit in no fucking time. Let it break down and become food. He said plant next to it. He said don't pull it out in a living bed, is what he was saying on the show to me that day. And but he said you'd be surprised in like fucking a week's time how fucking soft that stem would be. Practically, you'd be able to push your fucking finger right through it. Yeah.
See, that's what
You're
worries
the
me. Like
organic
with
guy.
that, you know what I mean? Like that's the one thing I've always thought about. Like you're not supposed to pull it if you're using pots and it's a real no-till. You cut it and you just plant next to it. That pot's gonna be filling up with a bunch of root mass. I just get a little like lost. Like I get maybe like the big beds or the big like things like there's room for that shit to work and it's gonna break down. But in like if you're trying to do like a 5 gallon pot, it just doesn't seem feasible.
I can, in the way he said that, he kind of said it, and the way I'm thinking about it now, he's, pretty much right. I don't necessarily do that, but it's got so much what the plant's already utilizing and breaking down. That microbes are already hard at work around that root base. You know what I mean? Producing what the plant wanted. There's a nice fucking nutrition buildup right there. Then as the root ball's being digested, it's creating more and more, and it's being spread around the soil. It's not just necessarily in that one spot, but it's moreover, it's itself. It's exactly what the plant needs. And I didn't, where I found those effects at were actually when I was washing my cannabis and making fucking hash for some fucking reason out of the blue, fucking 15 fucking years ago. I started watering it to my plants with it. And man, I noticed such a difference in the way fucking they were in structure, praying the next day in the flower room earlier in fucking flower man soup hurt increased terps,
I
almost
don't.
overnight, man. It was just what it was like digesting itself. It's exactly what the plant needed.
I've
And
always kept
yeah.
my roots. I've never not like I throw away maybe the stem and some of the little like thicker roots, but most of the time when I pull my root balls, I cut up my stems, and I have a big thing of soil downstairs that it goes in. I cut up all my roots, like the little friendly roots. I break up all the soil off of it, and I'll cut all that off and break it up into little pieces because I don't have worms eating anything. It makes sense in a whole living system where you know it's gonna break down, like leaving my stem and shit there. But I would be making my microbes do a ton of work if I left everything there. You know what I mean? So I kind of give them a little hand, and I cut it up in my soil, and I just kind of reuse the same soil now. So hopefully I can integrate the worms to be able to start doing the 40 gallon totes that I could just leave the stem in on one side and then plant on the other.
Think you're losing more microbes by digging it up, killing them, and aerating them like that than you're doing, you
I
know,
think so.
by leaving, not just leaving it there and letting them be happy. I don't know. As soon as you pull it out and they've aerated, you pretty much have killed them all. That's the whole purpose of the no-tilling thing is every time you flip the soil, you're killing off all the micro life.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
all of it
Kind of drawn on
dies.
that aspect of it.
I guess that's just my
A lot of
bro
it.
science, it's just I guess I don't I know I'm gonna lose a lot of it, but I feel like the organic matter and what's left on it and what's left in that little soil thing I have, because it's not, the microbes aren't working to feed a plant or anything in that big bin I have. So I put it back in there, and it seems to go, it disappears. I'll put it that way. Anything I put in that bin, like leaf matter or whatever, you won't find it in a couple weeks. And I don't have any worms yet. So I got a nice little bin started. It's just I think that plant that I had in there needed way more nitrogen than I was ready for. And you'll just find that with cultivars I've found too. So I'm getting there. Hopefully, maybe one day I have no till outside. I don't touch anything. I just put everything on. I don't even flip it. I do nothing outside. It's just leaves, dirt. Everything gets piled on. It's off season, so there's a tarp over it. I go out there every once in a while and I'll wet it a little bit to the uh, what's the code, until it's the like wetness I would like. I don't want it, you know what I mean? Like until it's like a nice compost wet, and then I recover it up and I don't go back out there. And that shit, dude. I, uh, I have a picture of my last year's crop, and it was outdoors. And dude, I don't water. I don't do much outside ever, and just that stuff is so easy just to deal with. Outside, it's a different ball game. I don't have it because it is a real no-till. I don't dig shit up.
Someday. Be nice if I could actually get out. I'd be more so to lean to that side if I could actually get outdoors and do a little bit growing. I've only had
Outdoors
a
is
couple
fun.
small runs where I wouldn't even so small. I wouldn't even say if somebody a good outdoor grower asked me, "You ever grow outdoors?" I'd be like, "No." I wouldn't consider something that I can grow in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An outdoor plant. That's not an outdoor run to me. That's if I can do it in here, it's not an outdoor size plant.
This last this
So I usually
past
say
year,
no. If somebody asks me, I'm like, no, not really. I
you
might
gotta
even
get
embarrass
outside.
myself and be like, yeah, I grow outside.
You need a greenhouse. That's what you need, Eagle. It's the way to go if
I
you're
would
going
like to do a
outside.
hoop house.
I don't. If I
That'd
had
be cool.
the benefit, I'd put something up. I do put stuff up in flour, but I keep it real like outside is outside and indoors is like where I do everything crazy. Outside I do maybe a couple toppings. Like I barely take care of these plants. I give them like enough nutrients and they thrive. They literally like there's so much we bought the house and there was a garden where I'm planting right now and three I gave it 2.5 years to like get I don't know what they were using in the gardens, you know what I mean? Salts and shit. So I was watering stuff and adding just regular microbes and just trying to build up a nice like solid platform and then when I finally started to grow at this house, I was so impressed with everything I got. Like the size of the plants. Oh shit, I took a chat down. Like it's crazy when I'm a big guy and I've only stood next to plants that are bigger than me that are mine, and that's a humbling experience knowing like not even a tree can get this big. And like you see some people, I seen someone post a picture today with a tailor, you know, one of those like tailor rulers that are flexible around their fucking stem. That shit was 15 inches 15 fucking inches in the ground. There's just something about the ground and the sun, man, that we cannot replicate ever.
I agree. I think it's that nice warm sun hitting it, fucking heat, nice warm. The microbes, all that shit just pop when it gets to be a certain temperature. That soil does. Nothing can beat that shit. It's a magic machine.
I love it. It's oh man, I dealt with spider mites this year outside. Um, Easiest takedown I've ever had of them. I will say that, and I did it a weird way. Uh, I woke up as soon as the sun hit for 3 days in a row, and I was in veg, obviously, and I took my hose and I put it on jet, like the jet setting on the knob, and I hit the plant 3 days in a row. As soon as the sun come up, and then that fourth day I went in with some neem, and then I gave it 72 hours. I used, I used green cleaner, and I did that for on and off for 3 weeks, and they just never came back. Perfect. I loved it.
Nice.
No PM either.
Now I got the mic. I'm just gonna talk. No PM either. But PM hit pretty hard up here in Michigan outdoors the last few years. But Smikey pilots and 420 are asking about popping in the rabbit hole. We're back to the regular days. It's not Thanksgiving anymore. You want to get that key to come in the rabbit hole, you got to do just like Spike or SmashedCannabis here, man. You got to come on and he was the only exception I made, letting him slide on yesterday. And it was only because I was letting everybody else slide in anyway. And then it came to the after party last night. I almost didn't let him come on, but I was like, well, technically he's only hours away from doing his episode. And he says he's going to be there. I'm going to let this one slide, and hopefully I don't get fucked on Friday night. But he showed up. So we're all good.
Thank you for letting me come on, honestly. I had a nice time with everyone that did come on. Spanky from Germany, all the homies that came on, all the girls that came on. Thank you guys. Miss T, fucking Canna Queen, Cheech. Hell yeah, you guys are all awesome, and thank you guys for letting me chill. Yeah. The witches.
Well, and that's fun. You know what? About Spikey was on too last night. Spikey, both him and 420. I've been trying to get them episodes forever now. hopefully Spiky Pilots he popped on, so hopefully he's a little closer to making that date with me, and we can fucking do this here, and he can come on anytime he wants. 420, much love, brother. I want to have you on. I want to have you on. Let's book the day so you can have an open come and go on the rabbit hole. It's that's the, there's reasons. I was surprised when we does it his way, but in the same aspect, I do this every day. So in order to keep people from just popping on and whatever coming and going, you know, and just depending on whatever happening when I turn on the camera, I got to do this every night. In order to do this every night, I've got to entice, people into that second step somehow. And by doing the episode, it's the only way to get to the rabbit hole. So that's I got to keep content coming every night. So that's the rule. That's the rule.
That's a good way
I
though.
know if I opened it up like Fumi, I'd never have a fucking everyday guest, man. Nobody'd have to put on the work. They'd just be popping in and out. You know what I mean? So
I
that's the reason for the rule. That's the reason for the rule.
I do like our platform. We have fun. We kind of it's cool. Fumi does it. It's more of a feeling like you're at a bar. You know what I mean? Really, that's the vibe that he like sets. He really misses his actual like live Portland cannabis tasting societies, where people were free to go and come as they please and smoke whatever. So like that's why he does that open format. Um, so yeah, if you guys haven't come by, you should check out Fumidor. He goes on every once in a while too.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, same time I'm on.
I didn't say that's. I didn't say times.
They know it's the same fucking community.
Actually, well, you start at 11:30 ish. So Tuesdays and 30s he starts at 10. So everyone gets a nice hour before you come on. It's a good little
That was
block.
what. That was one of the things too that I'm honest, man. I'm one of the straight talkingest motherfucker that does this shit, man. And that's when honestly when his invitation closed, I had asked him. And I've got it all in text too, all of it in DMs. I asked him like fucking 20 times, hey brother, much respect, you want to come on the show? Nah, brother, I can't do it. I can't do that long format. And then he turns around, starts doing a fucking 8-hour show. Invitation closed. That's exactly how that went. That's exactly how that shit went down right there. So that's real is real. There's your answer to my whole attitude on that.
Yeah.
Not only that, he choosing the same time, he divides the community. So every Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. But it is what it is. People have to have a choice. Like, you can't be the only thing on. So
We've been trying to talk, like all of us, Bag Seed, about trying to match up shows better, so we don't mesh in with everyone, and we kind of make it like a TV block. We really want to do stuff like that. It's just
since day one.
I know it's just
nobody.
It's just hard.
You know what you get? I was here first. I'm not going to change my schedule. That's what you get.
Bag Seed wants everyone.
Almost every content creator that is cannabis involved. I've already threw out that. I like fucking in March. So if you can make it happen, the best thing that has happened was Ready to Hit the Hot Fire. Him making everybody's content at least known. So they had, knew what days were where. And if you like this and what this was available, that was available. As closest thing to a cannabis TV guide as we got. But man, right, I have tons of respect for him too, because he comes and goes from chat to chat, but he fucking helps out while he's there. So even though he might be in Fumi's show one day, that's cool because he still comes over here, drops links, helps out. You know what I mean? So I got much love for that. Tons of respect. And again, for what he does too. So it is what it is.
I want Bags. Mr. Bags. He was talking about trying to like, since we might like whatever might be. I'm technically on lockdown. Like I can't leave unless I have to right now, or I would get an actual fine, and I don't need that. And they're not fucking around. Like Massachusetts is not messing around. Um, yeah, so we're all on lockdown, and we were thinking about trying to do like a game show with all like, not even all the shows, with like all the like homie shows, like you. He want like Michigan Bros and stuff, and maybe like just have all our community in one chat together playing like a trivia show or something, and it just people are trying to come together more now, and I've noticed that. I won't say it's gonna happen right away, but it's good to see people trying to come together more and make things work, with other content creators and stuff. And hopefully one day people like, yeah, like people like, we all make content for cannabis. Like some are different than others. Like you do a different niche than some others, and some do all their growing stuff. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be a fight between anyone. We're all home. Like most of us are homies. So it sucks
Yeah,
where
no,
the
I'm good with all that. I enjoy everybody. I have no beefs with nobody.
it
The only
happens
reason I've
though.
actually decided to fucking, I've been asked to be on almost everybody's show, and I've respectively reclined across the board on everybody's, and I continue to. I was surprised. Candy Queen was the first person to get me on. EO got me on, and again, I actually said no to a EO first, and it wasn't until Chad talked me into fucking going and doing it that I actually did it. And it was more or less because of they wanted me to. It wasn't because I wanted to, because I didn't fucking
Yeah,
want to do it.
it's cool
And
because you
it's
see the
like one of those
community.
things. I don't want to be on everybody's show. I don't want to be on everybody's show because I don't want people to go, "Oh, I've seen him. He said that on every show. I've seen him say it 6 times this week." And I'm not doing it. That's why I don't do it. I'm staying right here. You want to hear about me? Don't see me here. You know what I mean? Everything I've said here, I've said. So there's no right necessarily need for me to go on and repeat it. You know what I mean? I've got fucking 1,500 hours so far. I'm pushing. That I've laid. If you haven't got a feel for me by now, then you don't know, man. You just don't fucking know.
Damn. Um, the one thing, it'd be cool to see you as a podcast, and it's not like really. It's kind of, if you pay for their feed, it's really easy. Once you do it, it's just you gotta be able to just get a raw MP3. So anytime I do my recordings, I just pull up a audio recorder. There's no video, and I'll do a separate video. Maybe I started to do the Let's Get Smashed on my YouTube channel. Like I do have a YouTube, and I'm like, I show off my growing stuff and my outdoor grow and like my harvests. And I just recently started to do that shit, but I just did it so I could back up all my shit. Really, you know what I mean? I didn't care if anyone looked at it, but like, shit, if you want to go look at my shit, it's just me talking about my garden. You know what I mean? My Instagram's pictures of my like my daily activities, dabs, flower, cool scenery. I like taking road trips. I have like a vlog. Like, hopefully one day I'll be able to like vlog and shit. You know what I mean? And like get paid to do that shit, because I have a couple ideas. Like I'm trying to come to Michigan to visit you guys so bad, bro. I really want to come out, Sequence, like Spartan, Miss Terra, all the Gromies, Painted Lady. You know what I mean? They're all out there, and they wanted me to like come down, but with COVID and stuff, it messed up everything. So I want to go and either get the airplane I was talking about and try to do it, or I'm gonna go and get a car for under $800 and see if it can get me from the East Coast to Michigan and back. Something cool like
I think
that.
you could do it. I mean, you can do that.
It'd be cool to come smoke
Fuck,
with you
there's cars
guys,
around here for $1,000 that I would drive cross country once.
right? Get something I could sleep in so I could get. I already looked at a spot. There's an Airbnb. It's not like a place. It's somewhere you can set up a tent. So I I would definitely just get that. It's $15. It's right next to a homie of ours, and I just park my car, and I'm trying to get a wagon so I could sleep in the bitch too. Fuck it, right? Maybe I'll make a road trip
Yeah.
car.
My fucking CJ Apple's got a fucking beautiful truck that fucking he sleeps like that all the time, man. Fucking he just be camping out. Fucking, I'll be over here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, why be just chilling out, man? Fucking watching TV, jump out, fucking go smoke one. Let's respect. I love CJ Apple. That's cool ass dude right there. But yeah, that's the way to go, man. Fuck, I do it. I do it, man. I got a fucking older Tahoe. Like she's about what 2005. You put down them
Those are the
seats, man.
shit.
You put a fucking regular mattress. You know, like you know those like cheap $9 fucking blow up mattresses. One of them, fuck. You put that seat down. That one of those fits right there. You know what I mean? That between that back gate and everything. Fuck, that's a hotel right there. Fuck, I'm good right there. If I'm traveling by myself, I fucking nod off in that bitch and fucking
Hell
take
yeah.
off driving again.
Those things are spacious as hell, and I'm a big person. Put those seats down, especially that third row. You put those two rows right up to the driver and passenger seat. You fit a fucking air mattress in that motherfucker. You
Just fit
good.
in there, bro. Fucking throw open that hatch, man. Fully ventilated, man. You're free from the elements, fresh air. Out.
It's hopefully maybe like COVID did this for like I always try to look at things like I might get mad and upset about like situations now, but maybe COVID did this for a reason, and maybe like it gave me the time. I'm not worrying about a roof, food, you know what I mean, right now because of what's going on, and my like I do have my mom and my sister. Although we fight a lot, we might not get along a lot, and my past might mess up a lot. She loves me. I'm her kid, so she like as soon as I lost my apartment and my car, she let me come in. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise where like I can have my stuff here and come visit you guys and for a couple days and drive back, and then hopefully like I can get a life like that where I'm more free than anything. That's my goal for real, Eagle. I don't want to be stuck to really anything other than a grow. Or I'm single, so a female. Um, if I ever find a girl to date, you know what I mean? That's a different story. But like you get what I'm saying. I want to be more freer than someone with a corporate job, and I've always had that mindset. Oh shit, back hurts. I want to take
Yeah,
it.
it'd be nice to get to see more of the community, meet more in person. You know, that was one of the reasons why I kind of, did this aspect, even with you, I touched on your growth a little bit though, but I like a lot of the people that we see on the shows. I've had Dirt Van Dan on, I've had Tanazi on, I've had all them guys on, but a lot of them I haven't really hit for the grow style. You know what I mean? I briefly touch on it because it's a cannabis based show, but I try to learn about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever the rest. That's kind of the niche of this show. I think that's why I can get some of the other ones on, or I don't know. I like
Yeah.
having
I
other
like
people's on.
you make it more personal. You know what I mean? You make it like we're actually hanging out and like we're getting to know each other for the first time. It's cool. You don't make it awkward for a guest. Like Sometimes you go on a show and you're like, oh shit, man, this is like getting interviews kind of weird. Like I've had it like I've done it a couple of times, but like you make it like you just want to talk like a homie. You know what I mean? You don't make it any stress. You're like, dude, just be yourself and just chill with me and let's talk grow, talk whatever. But we do. I like talking grow a little bit too.
Well, this is the one thing, and the other thing about it too, man, is swear to God, if I had to get on this thing and actually talk, grow every fucking day, or how I grew, my process, beat that drum, I would want to fucking choke myself. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it every day, every day, every day. Nor do I do my system where it's like I would be trying to like sell that shit. I just would, this is the way I see it. Obviously, I'm known around. I've had build up a decent reputation through the community over a long period of time. As far as my grow, you guys have watched me pull down at least 4 harvests during this, you know what I mean? It's in the background every night. You kind of get a gist of what I'm doing, you know what I mean? You get to see it without me saying it, basically. You know what I mean? So that's, I don't even talk about it. Try not to talk about it. Again, if I did it every day, I think I would get bored of, trying to do it every day. So my aspect on that.
There's only like you know what I mean, like someone like you have. I mean, it's cool that you're doing other things now too. Those smileys got you doing the organic. Oh, excuse me. Oh, give me a second. Yeah, it's cool that Smiley's got you doing organic and like that's like doing new stuff is like cool to update, but like when I'm just doing the same old shit, it doesn't feel necessary. I mean, I tell everyone I grow organic. That's all mostly what everyone wants to know. Are you synthetic or organic?
Well, I appreciate and where all the respect for Smiley, and the reason I asked him to do what he does is because he's got the fucking passion for it. You know what I mean? And it shows in every way when he talks about it. It shows in his plants. It shows when he's doing his interviews that he's got the passion for it. I don't have the passion for it, and if I were trying to do that aspect of it, it would be like faking the funk. You know what I mean? He's, and why fake the funk, man? If you're passionate about it, you've got the questions that everybody's yearning to hear. You know what I mean? If you've got the want to know, somebody else with the same passion has got that want to know, and that's what big ups to Smiley. That's where he falls in. That's his passion, and and it's somebody that does this. I see that, and I know that people want to see that, but that ain't me. That's fucking Smiley. You know what I mean? So that's why I've asked him to try to do what he does, is because I've got to incorporate a little bit of that to keep everybody happy. And fucking Smiley's the man, in my opinion, when it comes to that side of things. So, shout out to Smiley. The only thing I'm at this point of it, I'm just very thankful he continues to still do it here. And that's very truthful, man. I'm fucking very thankful for Smiley. At this point, he could probably fucking jump off and do it anywhere he wanted to do it, but he likes to hang out here, and I'm fucking grateful for that shit. Big ups to Smiley. Got tons of respect for that. And it may maybe even end up making me, talk me into switching. I am, I've been asked questions about them boxes many a times, and I think somebody's just waiting for me to, try to tear that shit apart. But I ain't got nothing bad to say about tearing boxes so far. They're doing really good, you know. So,
I need I kind of talk to Smiley, see what he can help me set up like get my soil going to last me a whole grow without much work. You know what I mean? I was either gonna. I figure Coot or Smiley. You know what I mean? Are the two to go to right now that I know that I see are killing it with organics. And Spartan. Spartan helps me a lot too if I ever have a question, but that man's a busy man and I don't like bothering him.
Smiley would be my go-to. That's just my choice. Just my choice.
Oh shit.
Okay. You ready for the rabbit hole, my friend? It sounds like I don't. Sounds like you need a minute to fucking stretch that back and fucking.
Yeah, my back's starting to hurt. Yeah, we can do that. I'll stay up with you guys for a little bit.
And then we can do you, man. I fucking was. I was feeling it today after 24 hours, pretty much sitting in this position. I woke up a little tight today too.
Yeah, it gets. It's like being on a plane. It just kind of all gets numb after a while. But yeah, I'm definitely down to come back. So, if anyone, if Smiley is in the chat, if you want to come on and talk, that would be dope too, Smiley. So yeah, absolutely. You guys can catch me and check all my shit out at SmashedCannabis, but you'll probably all be back for the rabbit hole. So
wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
Not getting out without fucking that fucking sound light, brother.
I got you.
I'm ready when you are.
I'm thinking of how I want to do it. Should I do it in my Boston accent? I'm fucking talking shit with Eagle. This is SmashedCannabis. Check it out.
Right on. Hell yeah. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
And thank you for having me, bro.
See you in a few minutes.
Yes, thank you for having me, for real.
See you in a few minutes, my friend. All right, you guys, you know the deal. Time for the rabbit hole. You guys would be so gracious to give us both a few minutes, stretch for a second, get a drink, refill the tray, and come back and join us in the rabbit hole. Hopefully, my friend Smiley's Gardens. I see a bunch of other people in chat that have been past guests, and hopefully they'll jump on. Maybe some that are lurking that we don't see. Who knows? We'll pop into the rabbit hole. I've seen Bingus. But you guys know the deal. If you guys don't, and I've taken up enough of your time, I'm good with that. I'm fucking very honored. You've spent 3+ hours with me and SmashedCannabis. So thank you very much for that. But if you want to see things get a little crazy and want to fucking hang out a little bit longer, please join me in the rabbit hole. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, SmashedCannabis, for this episode 250. And you guys know the deal. Please do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. I'm a living, breathing example of that, and I'm only trying to do my best to return my part of karma. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Hopefully, I'll see the names in chat. Hopefully, some of you I will see in the rabbit.